Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back into another day of the round robin stage of Mythic Showdown Season 2. We've had a lot of matches so far and we've seen a lot of teams play and also decisive positions on the table for teams who can make it to the top 4 and ones who cannot. And once again, we are back tonight with a few more games to decide who moves on and who moves back. The first match is going to be between Yama Esports and Elusivity Esports. Both teams at a very contendable position for that 4th spot into the leaderboard, and it's going to be one heck of a match. And into the casting desk, this will be me, Sarah, alongside none other than our beloved Debbie. So Debbie, what's your thoughts on tonight's games?
Yep, both of the teams are very amazing onto this round robin so far, Sarah. But the thing is, EVT have a far more better legs over Yama here because they are the one who was able to break out the win streak of our NTX also. But Yama, I think they lost twice in a row already, so that can eventually be a very, very bad disadvantage for their side too. So it's gonna be very important. They should win this game no matter what. So let's see how they will be able to answer back to all of this.
Truly said. And since we have already started on with the draft, we can see Yama. Oh, if I'm not wrong, the names are on the wrong sides, aren't it?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I think it's EVT who has locked in onto the Kacha as their first pick, while Yama Esports has secured Clutch TZ's signature Yisenshin as well as Viola Instruction But to answer that, we'll be seeing a Joy and a Lapu instantly from the side of EVT.
Yep, Lapu has been prioritized yet again. I think Lapu is always a priority hero most of the time because it can be a flex, and Crisis has been amazing onto the fighters, which is funny, because he was so well started onto those marksmen as well. But now I think for Yama, they wanted to prioritize onto the hero for Raren first, because most of the times when you see people playing against Yama, they usually take away Raren's heroes first. So this is the great counter. You might want to take away the hero and prioritize onto the jungle, because Toby also, I think he's very, very versatile, but most of the time they got wins when he's on the marksman, so I don't know if this is gonna be a flex for the gold lane side, because Steel Fighter is also possible, MM is also possible, but for the side of EVT though, Lapu is still a flex. They also have a very good damage onto the magic side already with the Joy, so now that they ban away two of these assassins, for Yama though, what else can they remove here? Utility mage or something else?
Possibly the utility mage, like they can take out the Kimik Farsa as well for Shinzu, since he does like to prioritize those heroes. While we have seen that it's Corey on the Lapu so far, so Crisis could definitely go in for something like the Esmeralda or the Uranus. We've seen him play those heroes over and over. The gold lane, maybe the CC is still open, so he could try that. However, Yama does ban out on the Angela. I mean, Joy Angela, Lapu Angela. That's a good thing to ban out. However, EVT here need to be banning out the Granger, because you don't want to give Toby the Granger. But instead, they just decide to take out on the Esmeralda.
Oh, Esmeralda is a mad respect if you wanna play the Lapu the way it should be played, and I think Esmeralda has always been a flex for Yama too. It can also be into the hands of Dark or Toby. Both of them are very well versed into that. But most of the time when Yama pick up the Esmeralda, it usually goes into the gold lane side, so that can be a big priority ban. But for Yama here, I think they could just, prioritize the ban onto the mage's side, right? Because Farsa could be very good here if they ban it away.
Yeah, exactly so. Like, the Farsa has a way too much range for the Yisung Shin or the Jukshin to be positioning in one place during a team fight. They would constantly need to reposition. And Yama here has banned out on the Alice. I think they feel the Lapu will be going into the gold, which is a possibility, yes. However, I feel like something around the mid lane ban would have been just a little bit better for them. And EVT, meanwhile, taken out on the Yuzhong, do not want to give any issues to Crisis onto that gold lane, I feel. And of course, Dark is also pretty good onto that Yuzhong, but they get the CC instead. So the CC can now definitely be going into the gold or the EXP anywhere.
It can mostly be into the gold side because they need something of an initiator for the XP here that can be very available onto the map. The thing about CSC is that if it's put into the XP lane side, I don't think the first turtle contest is not that much of an advantage. Given the fact that they have the Yisenshin, they might need a good early game hero for the XP side and put the CC into the gold lane. Oh my god, look at this. EVT, they completely take away the Kimi already, so Senju onto one of his carry heroes, definitely one of the best choice right now. So is Lapu still a flex, or okay, it is gold lane Ruby.
Yep. I mean, it's a fair draft coming in from the side of EVT, I feel, but it's all going to be up to Godspeed and Shenzu to us a late game to, maneuver against everything Yama has, especially that CC. That CC would be a major issue, and even Raren onto the Yusungshin is actually pretty good. Majority of the games which Yama have won so far is because of the fact that Raren was on the Yusungshin. So that would make a major difference for them this time around. And also Toby's next pick. He could go in for the Nathan maybe if he wanted to, but he's going in for the CC Gold instead.
Okay. CC Gold and Phobius. I don't know, the thing is, Phobius XP, okay, there is a Joy. So, okay, they are trying to make out a little bit of a 50-50 onto the turtle fight here. definitely do not want to give out the Yishin the turtle, the first turtle. The Joy can go around without the turtle actually because he can farm everywhere. Even without the turtle, can go for the pressure onto the kills. A little bit of similarity with the Fanny. But I think it's a good close-up for Dark here. They wanna traumatize the backlines most of the time for the side of EVT here. There's a bit of a death coming through from the Ruby as well as the Zoe, so that is what they wanna focus on. But I'm actually afraid that there might be nothing that can focus on to the Kimi right here. It should be so dependent on a Beast to make the perfect tectonic charge so that the Kimi will be, caught on. And given the fact that Senzu is really not onto the Purifier as well, I think Abyss might be onto that duty.
Yeah, and honestly, it is just one setup coming in from side of Yama that's going to be Abyss. From the hands of EVT though, they've got Crisis, they've got Madara as well as Koi, so that's 3 setups. And even Shenzu in a way, because he's going to be the the first person to initiate with the Traction Pulse, and then Madara follows up with the AOG. It goes like that. In that case, Toby and Raren will have to play very carefully onto their heroes, and even Viola needs to save his Crimson Beacon for those dire situations. But as we speak of that, Evie, we are into the Land of Dawn. A very interesting game. Yama needs these points if they want to survive into the top 4, and EVT needs the points if they want to move up to the top 4 with whatever they have secured so far. It's a match which is going to be very head-to-head, and both teams need whatever they can secure. Both the junglers will not be starting off with the blue. Yeah, it's just going to be the Joy, and Yisunshin, of course, Raren with his triangular jungling path whenever he's on the Yisunshin.
Something kind of weird, not killing spree onto Cuts TZ. He's onto the quantum charts instead, so there's a little bit of movement speed that he want to do here, so he might want to focus more onto the farming speed rather than going to team fights into those early stages of the game. The lethal red tree stun.
Of course, coming in with a little bit of an early engage, Madara though has to use up on the Revitalize. Immobilize though from Shenzu. It would be enough to save his life this time around. Godspeed as well. Could have joined in the fight, but didn't want to risk any kind of early first bloods. But taking a look at the emblems, Debbie, that's 4 thrills coming in from the side of EVT.
They want a lot of damage, that's all we could say. That's a bit of a mid-penetration as well. And the new chains are into the Festival of Blood also. I mean, the Fighter Emblem, I think it's gonna be so worth it for the Ruby as well as the Lapu Lapu here. Because, yeah, most of the time you want to use it because it gave out a hybrid lifesteal, not just a spell vamped anymore, but it will be in favor. Mid lane though, Madara.
Yeah, but once again, taking in quite some damage. That's the advantage of having a Jukshin onto your side. You can constantly force your enemy to be under the turret or inside the base for majority of the time. So definitely Yama is taking advantage of that.
That's a big advantage and the lead that they want to do when they want to have when there is a Jushin already into the mid side. Shenju though?
Oh my god. Very early engage coming in by the teams every now and then, and they're also taking in quite a lot of damage. However, Shenzu, Crisis, Kori, everyone has their level 4s, and both the goal lane is just chasing each other to the turtle. Whoever reaches first will definitely be having the river advantage, that's for sure.
Yeah, they need to have a great setup, and I think most of the time the setups onto the turtle it will be dependent on whoever XP made it first. Like Crisis though, I think that's gonna be one resource wasted by Senju here. He does not really have the flicker or the traction pulse, but still. For now, Abyss don't have the ult, but Madara though he have the AOZ already. The turtle started. Reset again, Viola trying to zone out everyone into the vicinity here with the wall coming through. Look at that.
There we go, Toby trying to get an engage onto Shenzu this time around, but he dived in a little too deep for himself. He's a CC with a vengeance and he gets taken down by Godspeed already. Madara finds Dark as well. Misengage coming in from side of Yama Esports. They should not have gone in so early on such chunky heroes. This is just gonna be giving away the first turtle to the side of EVT.
Oh my god, this is definitely a blunder coming through from Miss TZ here. If he had landed the tech charge, but never mind, the blue buff already stolen yet again. Not a really good scenario for the side of Yama here right now. First item, Senju with the turtle. He already secured the Sky Pacer, but hey, that's gonna be taunt.
All the business to use up the tectonic charge defensively. he isn't even gonna get it back for himself for the next engage, and it feels like only Violet at this point is playing slightly safely, while the rest of them are just going haywire on Kimi or Godspeed, whichever target they find first.
I would have liked if they were waiting for the turtle and wait for the level 4 for Abyss TZ rather than Madara to try to go for the engages first so that they will be able to have a good momentum. But they cannot really do that, and the tech chance did miss out quite a lot onto this, so if it landed, it could have been a different story for Yama here, but now they are gonna be falling back. Fulvis, who is behind onto the goal, cannot really do anything onto those team fight. He needs to have this itemization as well, but Madara, yet again, look at that.
Skirmish this time though, he's pretty low. He doesn't have the ultimate yet. He's gonna be trying to using it, but won't be able to. But Shenzu, he's gonna find Dark. And oh my god, Godspeed once again trying to look for the engage. However, Violet flickers out of that situation. And Yama Esports definitely at a disadvantage here.
Oh my god, that could have been a good texture and a good reinitiation coming through from Yama if they had the damages, but no, they did not have gold ranking so far. Godspeed onto the top with the joy, with the turtle and the steal onto the blue buff as well, and Godsteezy is so behind in comparison to Godspeed. This is definitely not a good one, but Toby though still doing good with one that's onto his hands right now, but he got the first item, that is the War X, and as well as Crisis too, so that is gonna be a little bit of an equalizer for the gold right now. The turtle yet again up to level. Okay, so
the spider definitely instantly taking down Violet. Didn't have the ultimate to escape, neither the flicker. That's a easy little kill. Abyss as well gets caught out in the I'm offended. However, Yama Esports do not find a revenge to that kill onto Violet, and they're just gonna be moving in towards their neutral objectives. But look at EVT though, instant rotation towards the goal lane, realizing that Raren is available there. And Raren though, very aggressive with his positioning, will instantly get taken down once again.
Oh no, that's so not worth it. That's gonna be a stack first Senju onto the Sky Pizza, as well as a kill onto the jungler yet again. And he's levels behind in comparison to Godspeed too. So 2 levels behind onto a Yishin you do not really want to do. The top lane gonna be cleared out. Dark cannot really do anything with his warriors who's actually so behind. But bottom lane though, Madara just joining 2 people away, and this is gonna be the direct find right now, Ton.
I told you there's 3 engages. It's one gets the taunt, one gets the arm offended, the other gets the traction pulse, and then comes the bravest fighter stun. That's like 4 continuous crowd control chains onto you every single time you get one stun onto you. So that's like very, very disadvantageous the situation. But Raren though, he actually finds the solo kill.
Wow, amazingly well done. You wouldn't have thought about onto the mid side though. Dark still onto the jump.
Definitely. Tectonic charge Abyss. Hello. You might want to
no.
But clutch easy though. He finds Corey though. It's a 1-for-1, and again, this time around, Madara is the one who gets caught in the middle of 4. So he will get taken down as well.
There's a lot of treats everywhere across the map, and Custody, I think it's still gonna be good for Raren right now, because even if he died, he just traded out with the life of Korikuti as well. And I think, for a jungle who's actually behind it, that's gonna be the perfect condition for him to reach out to the level in comparison to Godspeed right there. So he's gonna be needing a little bit of a buff, and that will be an okay farm that he's gonna be needing right now. Genius one already taken away by Godspeed here, and also the glowing one for the side of Senju too. That's a lot of damage he already accumulated right now. Still, endless battle is going to be needed for dominance for both of the tanky frontliners for the side of Yama here. Okay, they are trying to instigate something of a team fight here. Madara though,
definitely trying to look for something. Dark realizes the danger is and just flickered out of the situation. And Yama currently just can't find an opening to go in for an engage. It's like Viola is trying so bad, but there we go. There's Corey right in their faces. Just going in with the bravest fighters every single time. AOD, Toby barely dodged it, but will get taken down because of the Sky Piercer. That's a 3-man knockup coming in from Dark as well as others. But it's Shendu. The farm difference is a little too much for Yama to handle, and they're still not giving up. EVT here is gonna get a 4-man wipe out. Just violate the sole survivor, only a Jukshin from the side of Yama Esports.
That's a lot of free stack for Ikumi. Man, Senju really having the best time of his life. Freely hitting onto the backlines, having 3 frontliners and a good setters as well. That is a dream for every Kimi users here. That's a holy crystal. And the 9 minute of the game for Godspeed, and that means that he have a lot of gold in his belt. Raren not too far behind, but you know, he says you wanna be ahead. You do not wanna be behind, but yeah, they cannot really do that because of the composition that they have right now, and Toby unable to find any great positioning with the CC as well. Look at that, Corey.
Again, going in alone in the midst of 4, using up the Raven's fighter and still surviving. Oh, but there's the knock-up though. AOG comes in, lands onto 2. That's a double-sided 2-man knock-up. However, I'm offended comes in. Abyss and Toby are a little too low. Madara still trying to fight it out with Dark. Dark getting those infernal pursuits on. And Toby with a little bit of a clap back, but no, it's going to be Shenzi with the kills. He gets a double, is looking for the third onto Dark. He can definitely get it, gets the immobilized right on point, will get the triple. Viola and Abyss easy defeated in that situation. Oh, but no, there's the taunt! And Shenzi with the flicker, looking for the maniac, he's gonna find it right away. Shenzi, too much turret damage for you to handle, you're gonna go down. However, EVT are still gonna secure that kill, despite that being an inhibitor, and Godspeed, sneakily enough, finds the mid lane inhibitor.
Wiped out for Yama here. Senju full stack onto the Sky Pacer, and that is going to be the minute that he got onto the Kimi. Amazingly well done. And the damage already accumulated by them is too much. 6k goal is what they have. Raren, I think is in trouble though. Oh, that was a close call. They did not have the damages, but the Lord will be taken away freely by Godspeed. Ah man, this is so bad for Yama right now. Viola, the only one who has been able to play consistently. He got the Sky Pacer, but I don't think it's gonna be a very worth it right now because it's too late onto the team fight, and everyone is from the side of EVT have already gotten the bills here. A lot of damage into the hands of Godspeed as well, but hey, I think Corey also got the damage, man. So there's Lapu, even though he can go haywire onto the backlines of the side of Yama, he can get away by getting one, even though he can get killed too. But now it's going to be crucial for Yama to try to defend this. They don't really have the best high ground, but they should be able to defend this lot coming into the mid lane right now.
Madara though is just charging in 4 people, and it's like his presence itself is forcing the members of Yama to just back off as far as they can, and because they know that if they get taunted even once, the entire team of EVT is going to be collapsing on them. Now, the Lord itself is collapsing onto the mid lane, and somehow Yama aren't able to clear it fast enough. However, EVT aren't taking any chances as well because they know they do not have the side lane inhibitors, and they do not want to lose any potential members no matter what. Abyss, I told you, it's the taunt, and then the crowd control instantly. Corey is gonna be finding that Raven's fighter kill onto him. AOG right into the backline, another taunt comes in from Madara. 2 inhibitors getting chunked down on both the lanes. However, Madara gets taken down finally. A little too much turret damage from the Nexus for him to handle. 2 inhibitors down with just the first Lord of the game. They're looking for the third, and they might very well find it for themselves.
Really amazingly well done. Very calculative. The synergy coming through Dark. Taking out a lot of damage onto Senju. Look at that.
It's too much for him to handle. He doesn't have the magic defense. And look at Crisis. The damage output from the side of EVT right now is a little too much. They're going in from the front. They're reaching the back at the same time because that's just how good Kimi's passive is. Despite the nerves and a full stack Kimi, it's just going to keep melting you over and over and over. The minion waves are still charging in. But Crisis though misses out on the arm offended, but he's just going to back off now.
They have to back off here yet again, but never mind, Corey.
It tries to look for an engage. It does not have the skills right now, but AOG into the backline. Madara with the play. 2 men down again for the side of Yama Esports. EVT looking for the clean finish. They just aren't able to find it solely because of Viola and Clutch TZ just clearing up the lanes as far as they possibly can. But no, there's the minions from all two lanes, charging in at the same time. Toby gets taken down. He cannot handle that kind of damage despite having the Vengeance of the Flicker stun onto Viole. But he gets the kill right inside the Nexus, and it's gonna fall 1-0 for Team EVT as they secured the lead in this best of 3.
Jimmy, carry hero onto Senju is apparently the answer for EVT. Amazingly well done the way they were able to play the team fights, as that was such amazing job. And I think those kind of, you really can play it that way when you know that your opponent doesn't really have the greatest clearance so far. If they had a good clearance on Yama, it could have been a very easy defense. And of course, MVP will be the 80 stat Kimi. One death, Sarah. That's just one death. And those long games, a full build, by the way.
87% team fight as well, and 10k turret damage. So that's like the advantage of having a Kimi in your hand. You can push turret from literally anywhere you want once you have the passive online, and he had it online for literally 80% of the game. So that's a lot to say about his Kimi gameplay. The rest of the members of EVT as well, very strong KDAs. Madara with the wingman, very definitely. The red roam, it does work out for him, plus his setups were good too. Abyss, he tried his best, but he didn't get the tectonic charges as accurately as he would have wanted to. And Viole could have avoided the Skypiercer because they weren't getting any kills whatsoever. They could have just focused on the damage part of it to save and deal a little more magic damage to the enemies. Toby tried his best, but against a Lapo or Ruby, that's like 2 counters for you already. So what can you really even do?
The thing is, there's also one fact that they lost out onto this early turtle, which the Furwest definitely signs on that. I don't think Dark is able to find the right target because he was so behind onto the goal, and he does not really have the sustain. Because when you want to have a Furwest, you want to have the early game lead and have the first turtle so that you'll be able to go haywire onto the backlines and create and destroy out the temples. Because for EVT, it was so clear. They wanted the 4 of them to play together. They wanted one to go for the front, the side lanes, and they could do that because Yama's tempo were completely destroyed. They couldn't really do anything about it, and there's also a bit of a blunderhander that they committed that wasn't really improvable in that game. So head to head, you can see Crisis was everywhere on the place, and I don't think Toby this time around is able to perform onto this fighter hero, man.
Like, they should have given him a pure marksman. The Nathan could have been a good choice. His Nathan is really good. They could not Granger because there was a little too many counters for him on that hero. However, but otherwise also his CC is decent, we're not denying that, but this match it just wasn't it. Shenzu though, definitely the man of the match. He's got to get it. The damage, however, did you notice Juxton actually had the higher damage, ironically enough. But it's alright. The Skypiercer is superior in all ways, so that's what we get to see.
And he was definitely free hitting, and we could have given out the credits to Madara as well. And Corey Kitty, I think today he has been very how do I put this? Very decisive. Sometimes he just doesn't care, right? He jumped onto 4 members of Yama. That is how confident he was. And at one point of a time too, he was 1 HP, but he still ran in with the bravest fighter. And look at that.
That's right.
He is the carry. How is he the carry here? He got that much damage.
It's like, these fighters these days are so very good into the meta. You can literally play them anywhere. You jump in with 1 HP and yet you're gonna come back with full HP. That's just the power of the Queen Swings and the War Axe towards the low HP phase. So, of course, Corey definitely exploited that. Rich guy, Godspeed, can give him that. He was literally farming the entire game. The Yisenshin had more damage than him in terms of damage dealt. However, it's the team. EVT definitely is just better in terms of the team fight execution. Yama, they have the skills, the mechanics are there, but they just lose out on the synergy a bit. Sandbag, of course, Abyss takes in damage, and Wingman onto Madara, like we mentioned.
Of course, this guy was everywhere, all over the place. The AOZs that he has been setting onto this game in particular was amazingly well done. And And there is also the reason why that we said that this hero is one of his comfort. It's either the Kalea or the Garpot. You don't give him either of these two and you'll be able to, play around him. But Garpot is definitely one of his top priority here, and it also has a good win rate, I suppose. But yeah, seeing this game so far, I think Yama really need to stay out the draft, and I also think maybe put Raren onto the utility and give out the damage to Toby. Change out a little bit here and there, so they will be able to have a good winning side, and maybe give Dark a winning run, because from what I've seen, when this dude plays, he performs well on a winning lane. He cannot really do well when he is onto the weaker side, so I hope they change out in there for the second draft. So let's see, because they are into the first pick right now for Yama.
They do have it, and they can definitely go in for the Hilda, the Eve, the, what's that pick again, which they usually go for? Oh, the EXP lane, the Lapo. Yeah, that works out for them, honestly. But EVT as well has the second pick, so they're going to strategize completely according to that. Definitely banning out Raren's utility once more. The Baksa should be there. Second ban, possibly the Eve or Jukshin up next. While Yama, they might like to take out the Garotkacha or steal it away, and they can just ban out on the Esmeralda or something like that towards the third ban.
Exactly, you really want to remove out the Esmeralda rather than any other hero against Yama also. But yeah, you got to ban away the jungle first for Raren. Because I think for most of the team, they already cracked the code for Yama, man. They usually go for the deny onto the Grandeur. Even though they don't need to ban it, they usually pick out the counter first and try to ban away a Raren's comfort and force him to play out the Yishin too. And they usually pick out the direct counter, and we can see into the first pick also where they pick out the Gato, forcing Raren to play the Yishin again. So this can be a same scenario. For Yama though, they don't want the CC no more. So CC taken away, I think it's a very well calculated ban. They might have a little bit of a different combination of their own. But EVT, what can they remove here? Should they remove the Eve right now or Hilda instead? Okay,
Hilda.
No problem.
Yeah, but banning the Grok is like telling your opponent that we are going to pick up on the Hilda first.
Yeah,
so
that's why.
EVT is like, we won't allow you. They just denied that. So the Garat Kacha is still open for Yama to pick up. They might want to steal that away from Madara. But that would mean giving away the Eve, the Esmeralda, the Lapu, all of those chunky laners. And that is possibly exactly what they're doing right now. And yeah, totally.
Yeah, there we go. Directly Senzu's perfect win rate mage. This guy is able to pull off everything, and Lapu of course. I would like it if it's going into the hands of Activity, because I think he's playing a very different Lapu, man. I'm not used to this kind of Lapu, but it's what we are digging here. Look at the Hayabusa though, directly game away, but wait. Raren? Hello?
Like, Raren Hayabusa is something new to me. I mean, it's just new to me. I am not sure. But then again, if he's able to play it out, it might just be useful against the Eve. And Dark, of course, with the Esmeralda. That's a pretty good pick against the Eve as well as the Lapu Lapu. Would help in laning and zoning quite a lot. And that would also mean Toby can go in for a marksman this time around, play a little more around his comfort. And EVT, of course, might just want to deny all of that, go in for something like the Kalia, but with the Eve, they won't go the Kalia. Maybe the chip could work out for them right there, or they just gonna lock in on something like the Uranus or the Alice towards the sideline.
I would like an Alice here though, even if they want to play out the Lapu Lapu into the golden side, I wouldn't mind with the Alice, but high lost for Madara here, okay. Hylos is a very amazing hero when you want a good free hitting backliners, and I think they already have it with that. Safe to say that EVT, they can play another assassin again this time around. The Yuzong taken away. They still think that the Esmeralda is a very great flex pick. It can go either onto the hands of Toby or even Dark as well, but yeah, let's see how they'll be able to reply to this, because Yama, they need to remove out the Zungles here.
They definitely do. They do not want to give away the joy again. They do not want to give away something like the Xborg again, because against the Hayabusa, those chunky junglers perform so very well. Baxi and Fredrin are off the board, yes, but Godspeed, he can definitely still play the Yasunshin if he wanted to. Just one shadow is enough to dodge
Oh.
the Hayabusa ultimate. But Yama instead, they decide to ban out on the Uranus. Still decent since Crisis loves playing that towards the goal. Maybe they ban out on the Ruby next. That would mean easier time for Toby onto the goal lane.
How do you feel about an Xbox here? Okay, they EVT they actually banned out the Xbox. I thought it would have been better for them here, but okay, Ruby ban coming through, so they are just removing out the possible goal laners here. EVT, they need to pick out the jungle or the gold laner here. If Lapu is still a flex, I think they can play out the marksman, right, for Crisis.
They actually can. I do feel like they are planning for it. But there we go. There's the Balmond pick. I told you they're going for a chunky jungler with the Hylos and
Damn.
the Yeve. And that is exactly what they locked in here. And the Hayabusa does work against the Balmond, but then again, it's going to come down to execution part of it. So we'll see what
Wow.
Rarin does this time around. And Yama Esports, what can they go in for? Carry? That's a choice for Toby. The Nathan, still a choice. The Granger won't work. We've seen how a Balman can just jump in on a Granger and never die and get the kill and come back. So, what can Rarin do here? His Nolan is the only hero that's still open, and maybe just make. Oh, sorry.
He's
no.
on the Haya.
He's on the Haya. Oh my god. Viola and Rarin.
Hurry.
Holy, hello. Yeah, it's okay. It's so far a decent draft. But I'm just worried about Toad because he's gonna need to position far away
that's
from the Balman, Hylas, and Eve in front of him.
Honestly speaking, the Granger really isn't the best with this combination coming through from EVT already. Man, just forget about the bomb one. The Eve is also gonna be outranging him most of the time, and there's
Crisis.
also the Hylas, right?
Crisis
Wait,
can
Harriet
Harriet here.
Amazing! Oh wait, if they go for the Harris, oh wait, the Esmeralda is there. They need another magic damage though. Yeah. The either the Harris or the Natan. Wait, Natan is gonna be weak against the Hayabusa. I get that. It should be a marksman here, man.
Oh, the Claude.
Claude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Works out.
They
Works
just want
out.
one magic. All right.
Okay.
Okay. I think it was Harry was a. It could have been good because they need another magic, right? The Eve Harry combination, but the Hayabusa or the Esmeralda could have been a big threat for them. So okay, understandable. So now the best targeting will not be there for Toby here onto the Granger. I think it's not dependent on the draft anymore. He was more focused on let me play my hero today. Maybe this will be the last match. Let's go all in, Raren on the Haya. I've seen Toby more on the Haya than Raren on the Haya.
On the Haya, exactly.
Yeah. So let's see, man. This is a way draft and combination Godspeed for the first time around. Onto a utility rather than the Bosha. And not a dash. You wanted that too? Wait, it does have a dash, so it's okay.
I mean, decent draft from both the teams, but however, somehow into the jungle and the gold, I feel like EVT has the advantage.
Yeah,
Mid lane,
they
of
do.
course, Abyss and Violet, they can do their thing, and Dark as well can just zone people out, but towards the late game, how are you gonna stop Crisis from blazing duetting into your face? And as well as Godspeed, who is gonna melt a Balmond? A Granger with that amount of sustain in front of him? How much can a Granger really do?
That's what I was worried about this time around. I think it's gonna be solely dependent on how Dark is able to catch down Korikiti here, because he will be the sole member that will be going for the initiation most of the time, because the follow-up will be for Epistizi, and he should be focusing on winning out to the lane against Korikiti onto this Lapu because this is gonna be an advantageous lane. He's gonna be onto the strong side of this XP. So of course, he's gonna have to focus on Senju as well. So I think he will be more, he will be the one that Yama should rely on onto the early game.
Exactly. And even Raren will need to pick up some kills at least onto Crisis and Shenzhou before they
Yeah.
pick up any defensive item like the Winter Crown or Wind of Nature. But as we speak, we are into the Land of Dawn once again. At the moment, EVT is leading with a 1-0 at match point, while Yama Esports are yet to get a point into their favor in this series. If they do, it's going to be an amazing deal for them. And Madara here is already getting taken down pretty low. Deja vu of the first game. However, he's just going to use up the revitalize and play it safe this time around. Fight for the lethal wonder right there, Debbie, and Raren. He
Yeah.
doesn't even decide to compete for it.
I don't think you want to contest onto those lethal here when you are against a Ballman because his presence itself is already an aura enough. And I think it's going to be stealing that onto the jungle, onto the top lane as well. Oh no, it's going to be so bad for Cuts TG. You have to go in right there. But Wilderness Blessing and agility for Violi right now. He wants to have a little bit of a movement speed here so that he'll be able to rotate faster. But Senzu, as usual, he usually go for the damage onto any kind of mates that he is onto, whether it might be the utility mates or the burst mates. He usually go for those kind of damages because he is more suited for that too. So nothing out of ordinary, but a little bit of a 1v1 situation in a winning condition for the side of Crisis onto this Cloud. He wanna win out into the lane against Tobyman, so that could be helping him out onto the laning phases. But now we're gonna be having out the turtle here yet again. Dark should try to have a little bit of a good zone so that they'll be able to have a good start onto this neutral objective.
And the turtle fight is actually going to be very crucial. If Raren cannot secure this retribution and, Balmond has got the lethal count up, and that true damage along with the retribution is like dealing 4,000 plus true damage on the turtle. That's like a double retri, and Raren has got to contest that. We know his retribution is good, so
Yeah.
he might just want to live up to that reputation. Both the junglers are actually securing their blue buffs before going out for the turtle, but Crisis with a very early rotation onto that river area.
He's so fast onto that, able to get out the double farming and the stacks as well right now. Dark already level 4. Look at that jump. What?
Oh, Raren, he actually found it, living up to the reputation, alright. But Crisis with the flicker blazing duet. Corey, he finds a double already.
Wow.
Chenzu, Violet as well as Abyss. But now there comes the invade from the side of EBT. It's like telling them, you take one objective, you're gonna take the members and the rest of your objectives. Dark though, try to sustain 3 people. Kamud comes in with Abyss with a 3-man AOD. Good for Kamud. That's easy. Finds a kill onto Shenzhou. But Shenzhou is the one that's surviving and dealing damage. I can't even see who's dying right now. But he gets taken down by Shenzhou right away. And it's like this Eve is just unkillable. But Toby's here. And, oh my god, Toby, you do not want to miss those shots. Toby kills Corey as well. Should be an easy kill. But okay, what is that path he's choosing?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Dark. Finally.
That was a messy team fight, but it's still, I think that was all in favor of, it was supposed to be in favor of EVT, but they did a mistake out there where a little bit, but now Toby though.
Oh, Crisis actually misses the blazing duet onto any target.
Okay.
Good Natalia is being hit there. However, Madara has to use up the glorious pathway to try and run. Toby so far is doing an actually excellent job of laning, plus securing a few golden kills for himself. So things might just be looking positive for the side of Yama Esports.
Oh man, we were talking about how much of a problem the Granzer should be having, but when the resources are already wasted and his entrance is perfect on time like that, I think it will be good. But so far, I think Sarah, Raren is not gonna be questionable on to this Hayabusa. I mean, this is a debut assassin that we are seeing him on, but I'm not complaining because look at that. He was able to get the steal onto the turtle, which the Ballman was supposed to have a good advantage, but this time around though, he already got the first item. They might be a good set. Look at that.
Not this time though. Not this time. It didn't work out. But Hayabusa definitely went back for an engage. The quad shadow kill. They're trying to look for Godspeed into the back line, and Dark is going to find the kill right away. But the bravest fighter is on the Toby. Toby needs to run, and they're trying to protect him as much as possible. But the Eve is also omnipresent. She is trying to get some damage output. But Yama Esports definitely getting those kills on board for themselves.
But actually a free farm onto the top lane for Mr. Crisis right there, and he's already very good onto the goal lead here. 4K is what they want. Toby is not far behind, but that is definitely going to be a free turret that he's already secured just for the Lord fight that we have seen right there. But I think talking about that recent fight, Viola is doing anything that he could for the team, and the way he was every time displacing all the members and giving out a free kills to Toby, also giving him stacks onto the Sky Pacer. I think it was amazingly well done. That is the combination that you want to do with the Granger right now, but bottom lane clear it out by EVT here with the help of the Glorious Pathway though. So still, I think Yama, they do still have everything in the bag, but they need to have an answer to Crisis right here.
Exactly, and currently enough, I feel like both teams are at a very equal position in that. But Toby has to figure out, like, this is the beginning, right? This is the beginning of a little bit of that turning point where EVT constantly marks down the Granger. They've done it before, they're doing it again this time around, and every single team fight, Toby will need to save his flicker and his dash and his escape mechanisms for whatever jumps he's gonna get onto his face. So of course Yama needs to do their best to protect that young man from getting taken out. Look at the Balman! He's on to Toby already, and but no, this is not escapable for that poor boy, and he gets taken down instantly by Corey right there. 4 members on there. WM comes in, but Clutch TZ is gonna find Crisis though. Shenza finds Viola, but Corey is the one in danger this time around, but he's just gonna dash away, is he? But no, the taunt comes in. Dark still trying to find something, but the damage is a little too much. Balman is gonna find one, and Hayabusa wants. That's a 3 for 3. Fair trade, I believe.
It has to be a little bit of a fair trade there, but the turtle is already up here again. Clutch TZ more healthy than Godspeed right there, and I think he's doing really good onto this Hayabusa. Man, Shadow.
Oh my god, he's trying to look for it, but had he gotten oh! Raren! We apologize for ever questioning anything against you, but this is amazing for Yama Esports. Much like a secret clutch pick, 1 HP, and he actually manages to get 3 before taking down the turtle. Yama Esports definitely showing their true colors right now.
How long was he gonna keep this Hayabusa in his pockets, man? Look at this dude. 415 is the score. And the bait that he did onto the Shadow on Godspeed, amazing. He looked like he wasn't going in, but then he went in, had the ultimate, did not use it yet. But Corey though, mid lane.
Definitely, but that's a 3-man Bravest Spider definitely going in for Corey this time. But Toby is gonna be finding the kill right under the tier 1 Viola with a little bit of that clutch play.
Amazing Viola, man. I think it will not be seen much, but this guy has been doing so much for the team fights, and I think most of the time if you see the way EVT are gonna be playing, they want to focus onto the team fights rather. They want to focus onto Viola much more, and then they want to isolate out Toby here. But I think it should be Viola they need to focus on, because they need to have him out of the zone. But right now I think Madara Crisis not gonna be engaging anytime soon. But goal ranking though, 6.8 for Toby, onto the top of the food chain right now. Crisis with the follow-up though, he's still onto the run for the 3rd item to build out the full trinity here. Meanwhile for Toby, he already gotten out the 2 damage sources for a Granza right there, and he can opt to go for a little bit of a sustain onto the 3rd one, but he does have the damage as mid lane is what they want to prioritize on. And Brute Force already built up by Godspeed. I think it's still gonna be a little bit of a sustain that he is looking for, but the damage coming through from Rahan, I think he is able to do so much with the build that he already have. 4-1 onto the score as well. This guy, you're right to be sorry for that.
Yeah, we definitely are. However, there's still a long way to go. The EVT still has the Claude, so things could turn around possibly at any point of time, and they need to make sure they take down the Claude of the Eve before a team fight. Especially Raren needs to make sure of that, and I do believe that they would be going in for the similar thing. And also Toby needs to play safe. There's a lot of ifs and buts into this game, but if things do go right, Yama should be able to easily secure a point with the current lead that they have.
And this is a good lead that they should be having. I mean, they shouldn't be having this much of a lead too, but given the fact that Toby is still able to have a good goal onto his kid, that is amazing because, like you already mentioned, the line that's coming through from EVT is already so good against Granger, but he is able to perform so well. The Lord is what they want to focus on. Trinity already built away by Crisis right now, but he have the damages. Once he decide to go in EVT, they might eventually try to instigate a team fight when the Claude is fed enough.
Truly, and the Lord is already at a very low HP though, and Taunt is coming in onto Madara actually, and they're actually expending the resources onto him, and they manage to find again. Oh, Clutch Teasy, he's doing it! They've got the shadow onto Shenzu, but he goes flicker out at the right moment. But Corey into the back line gets the damage output, but Dark is gonna find Shenzu anyway, but Toby is gonna flicker out. He's trying to survive with no crisis. Fight the shutdown finally. Godspeed still trying to look for a miss, and they actually find it. And he's still looking for more though, but Dark is already here. He's dealing with way too much damage as compared to the Batman. However, he's not gonna be able to find that kill, but this might just be a big blunder for the side of Yama Esports for not protecting Toby right there.
Yeah, oh man, okay, Godspeed, he got killed right there into the mist. Oh man, it was amazing. Engage right there for Roarin and Dark, of course, and this time I think it turned back to be in favor of Yama right here. Madara trying to give out a little bit of evasion. Corey back into the picture. He again contest though.
Yeah, but definitely looking for the contest, and it's mainly Corey and Madara looking for it. Hayabusa still doesn't. Oh, he actually gets the red tree, even though he got shut down. Roarin is on a roll this game around. However, EVT are slowly starting to show their presence as well. The Claude is online with the Trinity up, but Toby should be able. Oh no, they just body block his Sonata right there.
Amazing damage coming through from Toby already though, but there was also a very good decision for EVT to try to focus onto those team fights when they know that Crisis is already online. But it was a close call. If he did not have the flicker, it would be very bad for EVT here. But the lore is what they already took here for the life of Araren, still not missing out the red tree even though he died. Amazing. But I think it's still good for Yama right now because they'll be able to get at least one outer turret here. The bot lane is what they want to focus on. Definitely not bad, but there's still a good clearance coming through from the side of EVT here. They can still play around with the inhibitor and try to protect onto their mid lane side though. So maybe there's a possibility that they really want to chunk down the HPs of the inhibitor, but they didn't go in though.
Yeah, they do not have the full damage potential that they possibly can deal to take down all those chunky people in front of them. So, what they can really do is just wait for the Hayabusa to get a pick off and then go in for the engage. And I believe that's the only proper course of action they can take, because look at Shinzu. He is starting to deal a lot of damage with the Wishing Lantern. Like, one hit is taken away 10% of Dark's HP from the first kill. So, they have got to play it safe right now, because if they get caught in the glorious path in the RWM even once, it's going to be fatal for the side of Yama Esports.
Yeah, talk about the combination coming through with the Blazing Duet as well as the RWM too. And there's also a fact that EVT are playing so good in protecting their backline as most of the time. Crisis is actually going to be safe anytime he wants to be because of the BMI, of course, and the flicker to be added to. But with the goal that, with the Lord that Yama already taken, they have a good point of advantage as well with the goal here, 1.50k gold. That's what they want right there. But the blue buff is not going to be stolen here, but it's still okay because still they're going to be playing out a little bit of a slow game. Like you mentioned, Raden needs to have a good pick off, and there is going to be the green light for Yama to try to go for the team fights, because if they try to go for this, brute force their way into the combination, into the place that is being made by EVT, I don't think they will be able to find the right targeting, because most of the time Toby without the flicker, even with the flicker, he's very vulnerable. So that has to be that has to be something that has to be mindful of. But top lane, Dark.
Oh my god, Dark, he needs to flicker out. He gets stunned though. Can he really make it? He actually made it out alive. Oh wow. My goodness. Oh, but there's the markup onto Toby as well. Violet goes in with the Crimson Beacon. Dark goes for the re-engage. Can Yama Esports actually turn this around? Corey goes in straight for the recall. They're jumping in onto Toby more than anything. Godspeed is gonna find two though. However, Winter Shrunken comes in from Godspeed, but he is getting taken down. Crisis with the Ninja. Toby with the Maniac, a complete mad lad. secure the foam and wipe out for his team. This is why you do not give Toby the Granger, ladies and gentlemen. The young talent, all for him and him for all. He's literally the man of the match in this game.
He does not really want to go down without setting his name with the Granger. Man, oh man, I'm so proud right now, to be honest, but amazingly well done. Everyone was jumping onto Toby, but there also one fact that I would like to mention: the position coming through from Raden. He wasn't spotted. There wasn't anyone who seen him. He was waiting for Crisis to be available on front of his face, and that's when he went in. And amazing maneuver coming through from Toby as well. He wasn't taken down. He was coming in clutch with the rondo. Not even the flicker was wasted, so that was amazing. Mythic. Oh my gosh, this guy is so slippery. And now they have the Lord, full build for Crisis. He have the stacks, he have the range right there, but Toby also not far behind. He have the Rose Gold Meteor. That's also going to be another survivability right now. Inhibitor is what they want to focus on. Yama, they can try to force out onto the bottom lane here.
They are actually going to be finding the inhibitors with this Lord without the need to engage, because the Lord at the 16-minute mark is going to be very strong. Glorious Pathway though definitely coming in to delay the Lord towards the inhibitor, but the chunky minions from both the lanes are definitely looking to take down as much of the HP as they possibly can. However, they only found one inhibitor at the 16-minute mark, so that is not the best of things for Yama, but it is still better than nothing, because EVT, they're actually making quite a few mistakes, and this time around, they aren't able to catch Toby because they've realized that there's always going to be a front line for Toby in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And now they know that they need to do something of a flanking from the backlines and try to catch Toby off guard. But then there's also a fact that the only one that can possibly dive in and waste it out the flicker has to be Curry Cutie. But then again, he's not going to be wasting out the flicker for Toby, because it's definitely going to be Crisis who will be able to get onto the Toby too. But then again, it's still a lot of layers of resources that should be burnt down on just one member. And then we cannot forget about all the disengagement that can come through from Abyss TZ with the AOZ. So this has to be a very calculative move. They need to also have an answer for the way Roran has been playing. Always onto the backside, trying to go in most of the time, and hasn't been, he's playing more like assassins should be, being a spy. Like, he's always coming into the backlines, entering onto the perfect timing as well when the EVT has wasted out their resources and trying to take them down most of the time. Again and again, they were able to make it work. So EVT, they need to protect their backline as well, but they need to have a good reason too. So they need to separate themselves on how they are gonna be giving each other out the duty to. The Lord is already up. They should be contesting this, right? Because if they don't, I think it can be a possible end.
Oh, much easy. Oh no, he actually took the tornado and missed the shuriken stack. Otherwise, that could have been a possible kill onto Godspeed. I don't know. However, Yama Esports is actually chunking down the Lord as far as they can. Madara definitely trying to go in for the engage, but look at Hayabusa into the back line, definitely trying to mark people down, but has to back off now. He doesn't have the ult anymore. Corey will be forced to recall back to base. He's gonna be taken down pretty low, but the minions are there for the help. But Toby definitely dealing some amount of damage. Dark though goes in a little too far and is taking quite a lot of damage. But there we go, the Lord knockup comes in. Toby needs to move back. There's too many people there. AOG, stun, everything gone to Toby, but he's still moving away. But the blazing duet, Crisis, trying to find Toby as much as possible. He flickers up, but the Lord, Godspeed, secures the Lord, the entry at the last moment, but the members of EVT are low. They're moving back to base as Firelay flickers in to take them. The base is open. Granger can just two-shot and he's trying to look for the kill as well. It's only Corey with HP right now, and he's gonna be taken down very low, but if they pull off this defense, it's going to be a miracle. Dark still trying to get some damage output. Crisis still there to deal the damage, but Hayabusa misses a shadow, and they've got to back off.
Oh my god, amazingly well done, Yama. If they had a lot like here, it could have been an end game for EVT, but still, What a clutch play coming through from Godspeed onto the bottom nonetheless. And against Ronan, by the way, amazing. But now they will be able to do another, they will be able to buy another time for themselves, for them to stay into this game as long as possible. Everyone, almost everyone getting out the full builds already, except for the Romans, of course. They're going to be prioritizing onto this immortality because this time around, the timer is already 20 minutes of the game. This is the favorite time for EVT. The later the game goes, the more they are able to shine. So Yama, they need to play it safe because they also have a good scaling hero. Crisis, even though he wasn't able to find a good targeting onto Toby because he had the flicker or even the immortality too, he was able to dive, and that is also good enough. So they should be trying to play for him as well. But now I think Yama, they know who they should be protecting because Toby wasn't touched right there, and he's just free hitting at that moment of the time, and they don't really have that amount of frontliners that EVT already have, but still, them able to pull it off, it's also amazing already.
No, because currently Yama is holding a 6k gold lead into their hands, but they're just not able to end no matter how hard they try. And partly I believe it's because of Shenzu and also the amount of sustain that they have because of the revitalize and Godspeed's killing spree and everything else. However, if they do find the pickoff onto just each Shenzu or Crisis itself, it's going to be enough for Yama Esports to actually end the game. All they need to do is protect Toby and find one of those pickoffs. And now the last which lord is this again? This is like the fourth lord. Yeah, the fourth lord of the game, and they're still trying to bait it out. And EVT, they're not taking the bait. They do. There's the conceal play coming in, but can they really engage?
You know, it's so good still for Yama right now because they have the long lanes here again. They need to clear out to the mid lane. Look at that.
Oh my god, there we go. And again the markup comes into Toby. The flicker stun is there. Toby, you need to run. No, the wind of nature into the last moment, but Crisis Corby is still taking the plane of chasing down Toby as far as possible. The Rose Gold swap comes into clutch with the revitalized play, but Shenzu! He finds Dark, he finds Raren. Now Toby is the one to be taken down. EVT find 3, now 4 people for themselves. The minions are charging to their base, but they've taken 4 members of Yama Esports down. Can they end the game here, secure the clean sweep for themselves, or are they gonna go in for the Lord and let Yama hold in for just a little while longer?
Violi is the only one surviving here. One wave is coming through onto the mid side here right now. They're trying to focus on that. Look at that.
Once again, the stun, the engage, everything for Viole. Viole is trying to mount another and actually going to be finding out the kill. He's got 10 seconds. Can he defend this? He doesn't. He uses up the Winter Crown. Corey is the one tanking down the damage, but no, the base is going to fall. There's a Claude beside you. This is too much, but Elusivity Esports pull off a near impossible comeback. The late game demons. Elusivity take away a 2-0.
I think I jinxed it, man. I jinxed my own. Yeah, man. Wow, late game EVT is a completely different beast. I think this time around we might have to give it away to Corey Cutie. Diving on to Toby, letting him waste out his flickers and the rondos and everything and whatnot, but we will have to get the MVP of the match. It's gonna be Crisis. Not much known into the team fights, but he was doing what he should be doing, what he was supposed to be doing. That is dive onto the backlines, which weirdly enough is an MM. He was diving onto Toby, able to create out a lot of damages onto his hands as well. But damn, 10-3-6 is the score for Toby, man. He must be so disappointed for losing this game.
Like, he was doing so well, like literally so well. He is possibly the rich guy as well, but
yeah,
in the end there's a Balman, there's a Hylos, there's a Yves, there's a Claude, there's a Lapu Lapu. And how much can you really dodge with that small little dash which Granger has, and then the flicker? So he tried his so very best. He swapped out the items as well, but end of the day, EVT with the sustain they had, it just didn't work out for Toby.
Yeah, there were also times when they were body blocking every Rhapsodies and every Sonatas that saved him too. But into the last part, also Senju flickering onto Rara, even though there were still 3 members surviving for the side of Yama. And he had the ult too, right? But he was still safe because Madara was there to try to body block him from the damages coming through from Toby as well. And I don't think Viole was really in the vicinity to try to get them out of the range. But Yama played this so good, but EVT entered that last fight. That was what it takes. That was what they need. Only one fight was all they required. And their main win condition, their key factor, was take down Toby, or at least waste out his flicker and immortality. And I think Corey QT did that so well. Head to head, 18k goal for against a 17k. Not far behind, but Toby looks like he's on the winning side though. 10-3-6 is the score for him, but Crisis still lacking onto the damages and even the I think the kills too.
Definitely, and even Raren performed so well onto that higher, which none of us expected. But I guess that despite all the red trees he got, he lost like one of the very crucial ones at the end. So that kind of changed things entirely for the side of EVT, and they just started coming back around. And Shenzo, of course, on the Eve dealing the higher amount of damage, but Jukshin, he was extraordinary too. Like, literally everything from the side of Yama Esports was extraordinary into this game, but end of the day, I feel like EVT just, late game is late game for the side of Elusivity.
Yeah, you don't want to play the late game for EVT, man. I just said it and I say it again. 20-minute mark is where they shine. even if they don't have late game heroes onto their side, if a game reaches 20 minutes, it's definitely EVT's. Someone needs to break that code. But onto the other hand though, oh my god, again! Even yesterday he was with this man. The carry and the rich guy and they were losing.
Exactly!
I feel so bad. Someone send him Starlight. I should send him Starlight.
Oh, little one. It's okay, though. He tried his best and he actually did so very well. It's actually impressive. However, Yama Esports, despite having 3 of the top 4 stats, they did lose it out, and Elusivity kind of showed why they are higher on the leaderboard right now. However, all good things must come to an end, and this match has also come to an end. This will be me, Sarah, alongside Debbie. We'll be a little bit dejected because that's our son, ladies and gentlemen. But it's alright. We'll be back soon with another game, Noctura versus SAQL Esports. So do not go anywhere and stay tuned.
Well, hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Mythic Showdown Season 2, presented to you by War Drum Games. And this is powered by Vizta Games, of course, MOBA 5v5. And we already know the drill, we already know where we are. If you don't, then let me just give you a brief introduction to what is happening out here. We are running not the Swiss bracket anymore, we are moving into the round robin. And when we talk about round robin, every match count, every best of 3 counts, because the points will dictate which teams will actually move into the playoffs, into the top 4 position of Mythic Showdown Season 2 to actually qualify for the 11 event happening in Guwahati on the dates of 17th, 18th and 19th of the month of December. So don't miss out on those days. Mark on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. But again, now, I think, Ash, this is one of the most awaited match. This team just have not played too many games. Yesterday it played 2, won both of their games. And even for Noctura, they had had a rough start, but then again, yesterday they broke the curse. They defeated Dakusena in a 2-0 fashion, clean sweep, and I think now they're trying to climb back into the rankings of the round robin stage, right? And SATUL, I think their reputation precedes them. If not the org, the players also are very famous individually, so I think we all know these teams and the players, of course, but I think we have a very amazing match in front of us with this second match running for this night. So what are your thoughts for this game?
This game will be going to be a beautiful game because both the games will be played in Mumbai server. So we will not face the server problem here. And the main thing about SATUL is about their control into the mid to late game phase. Yesterday we all saw that thing. Like in the second game, they were about to lose it from Crux, but then the comeback happened, and it was so beautifully happened by Radium with the Esmeralda and Jay with the Hayabusa as well, and the clutch steal onto the Lord. And into the second game, EVT, who were undefeated, and today also EVT managed to pull out a 2-0 win against Yama Esports. They got a 2-0 defeat, a clean sweep defeat against SATUL. So I mean, after 3 days, they make their face onto the game, onto the round robin stage, and with the face onto the round robin stage, they cleansed up to 2-0 victory. And in the third game also, Noctura got their first win, as you mentioned, in a 2-0 fashion as well. So this 3 matches, 3 clean sweep, and today these 2 teams make those clean sweep happen into the round robin stage at Mythic Showdown Season 2 at War Drum Games, will be clashing with each other. And main thing about Noctura for now is Kimi is back into the Rome, Shinryu, and that's that is one of the good news I can say, because he was absent, and in his absence, like Noctura couldn't manage to win, even though they were actually pulling out one game. I mean, I'm not saying Dubai is bad with the Rome. Dubai is doing fabulously good, but like Kimi is Kimi, so he's back. Their leader is back. So now the game might gonna change, and this is the game between like Kimi is one of the best roamer, and Apex, we all know him. What he deserve everything in Indian community. The pioneer.
The name suggests, right? Apex at the top, right? I think he has been the first roamer from India to represent India, the international stage. They didn't actually represent India, but he represented a different country, that is Nepal. Yeah. Like T2K, that is trained to kill. But again, I think the experience does come in hand, right? And I feel with the experience that these members have, and I think for each of the members, they have been also around the community, around the game for a very, very long time. Like they are one of the ancient players, I would say. For the side of Team NOC, I think some of the players are new into the scene, but again, I think they have gathered a very good experience. Individually, they have very good micro. And in terms of the gameplay, I think their synergy is also budding. Like we mentioned with Kimi, the synergy also gets to a different level. And I hope it works against this team as well, that is IQ SATUL. That is going to be their opponents tonight. But again, talking about the bans, you can already see the Esmeralda, Harith, Rock already taken off. Along with that, the Garud Kacha will join the party as well. And I feel the Garud Kacha has been one of those heroes which you can use to open up the draft, which you can use as a very good starter. If not the Eve, if not the Zuxin, if not the Kimi, I think that's one of those heroes that you would want to start your draft with. And apart from that, I think the assassins like the Hayabusa, the Fredrin as well for Sarar Moon has been working phenomenally well. And Jay, I think he is a different monster in his league as well. So I think the hero pools might just, rotate around. There will be a lot of trades that will look around in this matchup, of course, between these two teams. But then again, what are you trying to trade for the first pick is going to be very important, because so far the Lancelot gets banned, the Zushin will be left open, the Lapu Lapu is left open, and so many mid lane heroes are not even banned yet so far. This can suggest one thing: either the teams can actually go for a flex pick or the mid lane control. So the choice is there. So we need to see.
Yeah, Grok 2 into the ban list, open right now. It might get prioritized by the side of NOC, because Kimi loves to play the Grok as well. But sorry, Grok is banned from the side of NOC.
Banned, man.
Okay.
There goes the CC.
There are 2 respect bans as well. I mean, from the side of NOC, they respected out that Esma of Radium. It was too good.
Yeah.
And obviously, there is someone into the goal from NOC as well who had it so good. I don't have to take his name. And after FA's Winter Showdown, this is the first time I believe Kimi and Apex going to head-to-head against each other. And Kyle as well with the Radium. So I mean that hit.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Like I think this has been a very big topic as well, right? Who is the better goal laner, Kyle or Radium? Like I think Kyle is one of those goal laner who had risen to the point that he had challenged Radium head to head while he was in his prime, and I think that talk still goes without saying that it will reflect in this game as well. And from the side of Team NOC, they are opening up with the Lapu Lapu, one of the heroes that I mentioned as a priority pick. Most teams like to go for.
What do you think, Shinryu? I mean, will Kyle go for a goal lane MM or goal lane fighter? Because this guy in a goal lane fighter, I don't trust. But I'm sorry, I don't trust him with a goal lane fighter.
Okay, fair enough.
MM, he is an invincible warrior there into the land of dawn. And so do Radium. I love to see him with his Claude pick. I mean, I should say that it should be a replica, it should be a nostalgia kind of pick, or a deja vu kind of pick.
Trade the Claude. Just trade the Claude at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bring back the April 2025, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it still is so fresh for us, right? Those matchup like Claude versus I think sometime the carry, or sometime it's like maybe the Bruno as well back then. So these heroes were so much of a power picks, and yesterday too I think we saw Bruno from Kyle as well. So those heroes can come through, but again we are still looking at the first 3 picks, and I think the goal laners would most likely come in the second half of the draft stage. And as you can see from the side of Team NOC, they will be locking in a very good mid duo, or so far it's not the duo itself, it's like the jungler and the mid laner. The Eve can give a very good damage, can have a very good control ground, and coupled with the Fredrin, it has a very good combined crowd control, I would say, chain CC, and then they have the Lapu Lapu dive to the back lane. But whom are you gonna dive on? The Alice? That's not a hero you want to dive in. The Alice is like something that will dive on you, and look at that. We were talking about dive. There comes the Hilda. But then again, this Hilda is against a Fredrin, so it's not that impactful if it's not going against the Assassin. But I think with the amount of pressure, with the amount of vision control this Hilda can provide, IQ SA2L, they can pretty much farm for their goal lane and have a very good time, giving spacing to the side laners who needs that time to actually gather their items, gather the level advantage to actually be much more impactful into those objective takes, into those while taking down those structures. So we'll see how it goes from here. But now, as we are in the second banning phase here, as you can see, the Mathilda will already be taken away from the side.
This is like first time I'm seeing Mathilda in this new patch.
Yesterday it was picked. Like it was picked by Kimi yesterday. Yeah. He just played this combo,
Yeah, the Fedrin Mathilda combo, the OG combo.
Hey, they're watching. IQ SDL watching the games. Like they're not just sitting idle and not doing their homework, I would say.
Okay, but Sarah will shift to that utility jungler from that assassin one. I believe this might be a X factor for NOC. Yesterday they show the skills, they show the synergy from their side, and today it is against IQ Soul, the Giants once again getting ready to take up another points, adding up another points into their points table, and a little bit closer mark to the playoffs, that means LAN in Guwahati as well. But now the bans coming in from the NOC side, the last 2 bans, and you can see that it's a Valentina, because the mid goat is about to pick his hero, and
such a good read too. Such a good read too, right?
Of course, because Eve And like if something else is also coming in, it might be vulnerable to this
Kadita.
Valentina ultimate.
Ban the
So
Kadita.
yeah,
Ban the Kadita too, man. We are talking about
No, I
Asuna.
don't think
We are talking
go
about
with
Asuna.
Kadita. He might
we're
he
talking-
might go for a Farsa here, or maybe for a like proper burst kind of mage, not a Kadita, because like Kadita is nowadays is kind of a single target based hero, and you
think-
really need someone who can
You know,
provide that PoE.
They need to mark the single target. They need to mark the Eve. They have enough people to dive in to this threat.
Yep.
Hayabusa is there, but I think if they get the Kadita in this case, would be very good. It might be difficult for them to burst the tanky members, of course, but that's not what you're picking the Kadita for. The Kadita would just have a single mission: stop or shut down the Eve at all cost. And we're not talking about any Kadita player out here. We're talking about Asuna, and he deserved the glazing because we have seen him escape with just sliver of HP, 1 HP, 2 HP, marking the backline like he's like a monster in his own league with such kind of heroes, those playmaking heroes, I would say. So why not go for that? And I think the Farsa 2 will be a very good option if they can protect.
What about Kimi?
Awesome.
Kimi, he might go for his Kimi pick as well. I mean, even though Kimi is not into
could
the
be.
meta right now, but
It's
still,
nerfed, bro. It's nerfed. Kimi has been nerfed, man. I think.
But
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! He went for the Kadita. I told you, right? Because you see, knowing Asuna, I think he does not care how many members he is marking. He just wants to mark that one person who will be giving the play out here. And for the side of Team NOC is gonna be Faden. They need to shut down Faden because without Faden, the damage would really go down to an exponential level, to which I think SA2L or IQ SA2L in this case can really take advantage of. So that's what they're thinking.
Now the last two picks, we're not even sure that this Lapu Lapu is going into the hand of Kyle, or Kyle is yet to pick his goal lane raunchy pick. That is, might be a goal laner MM or might be a goal laner EXP. We're not sure about it. The Esmeralda is banned, but he's going with the Matan. This could be the thing which can change the whole scenario for this game. But look at that. Now, even though he didn't get his Gatotkacha, but he will be going with his another comfort, that is the high loss Kimi onto the high loss.
I smell a Claude, man. A Claude at this point. Like, I don't know why. Low-key, I smell a Claude coming from the side of Team IQ SA2L. Just, a bit of hunch. But if they want to go for a fighter, if they want to go for something, maybe the Black Dragon could be one of the options. But still, like, do you want to go for that thing? But then again, we're talking about Radium. Grandeur 2 works. But in regard to this matchup, the reigning matchup against the Nathan, I do not like the Grandeur personally because you kind of are, a liability in the early game, because if you do not get the stack, then you'll be pretty much a sitting duck. Your team needs to feed you with the kills, but then again, you have already an assassin, you already have a Kadita who will also require those skills to be viable in the game, right? So I felt the Claude would have been much better in terms of, going with the Blazing Duet onto the backline, pretty easy markup. But then again, the Grandeur is much more safer choice. Like, you can deal the damage while being at a safer distance. But in terms of laning matchups, still, like, not a best option, I would say. He needs a lot of help from his team.
It is the match number 2 of the night. Day number 5 at round robin stage at War Drum Games in Mythic Showdown Season 2. And you're right now witnessing IQ's SA2L going straight against NOC, Noctura Esports, who are the defending champions of Mythic Showdown Season 1. And right now, for the glory, for the pride, if NOC loses out this game, Shinryu, then the chances for the playoffs is kind of hefty. You need a calculator to actually calculate that if you are getting,
scientific calculator, right?
Yeah,
not the normal one.
Obviously, as a RCB fan, you are so familiar with it. I know.
Sheesh! Wow, you just called me out like that. I didn't believe that, man. But again, if you take a quick glance at the battle spell, 2 purifies coming out from the side of Team NOC, meaning that they really are fearing the fact that this Kadita could really be tailing them down, and they do not want their backlaners to be getting shut down so easily. So that respect is there for this, Kadita in this game, even though it's like not a very, I would say a regular pick, a very cheese pick from the side of Team IQ SA2L, but still, the fear is there, right?
No, of course. The fear is there. I mean, the fear. Anna.
He's watching. Anna is watching, of course.
Anna is there behind IQ SCTUL. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. welcome back to the Land of Dawn for the game number 2 and the match number 1 between IQ SATUL versus NOC Noctura Esports. Here we are, the junglers are taking up their aggro. It's me, your boy STZ, joining with Shinryu to cast this game out and to entertain you all with the beautiful commentary. And not only that, I mean, we're going to see that early game skirmish as mentioned by Shinryu, because the Granger, even though he got the range, but Natan got the burst. So even like Natan also need the scaling. I mean, he need the Holy Crystal to actually go into the team fight. So
3 items, at least 3 items, man. At least 3 items for this Nathan, you know. But again, I think with Asuna being active around the map, they can put a lot of early pressure, because there are 3 of the heroes which can dive heavily. And you just have a Purify on towards the Eve, cannot really reposition herself. She might just, use the immunity, but then again, against the Hilda, against the Hayabusa, she cannot do much. She will be sitting duck. But we'll see how it goes on again. The mid duo needs to rotate a lot to actually help the side lane to be kind of viable in this game, because in terms of the battles, like the emblems, we are not looking anything too out of the ordinary. For the Kadita, they have the wilderness pressing, and it'll just be about the rotation. In terms of the map, this will be a flying cloud, but again, mid lane Kimi against Apex, but he's taking a ton of damage, should be okay. But here comes Jay.
Coach Shadow connected, Ruby Shadow Kill comes up, and it will be the first blood. He came, he saw, he conquered. This is what Apex do in the early game with the Hilda. Beautifully taken out that first blood.
Such a good bait, right, from Apex. He just wanted them to use their skills, so, Jay can just come in and pick up an early kill. But now bot lane, I think Anti might be in a bit of a trouble. Does not have that level 4 yet, but getting a lot of peel. Not a lot of peel, but a lot of, HP getting shred down. But still, both of the EXP laner does not have the level 4, while the turtle has spawned. And Sarar Moon already starting it up here.
I mean, Sarar going against Anti and Asuna, his previous members. Okay, the burst comes up with the rock waves. It will be a start from the side of IQ SATUL, but look at the taunts coming in. With Anti goes in with the blood rains, but Haruka falls down to meet up with the DJ who goes in as well. But Anti will be giving up the final blow on to Faden. And with this, they need to retaliate back, but no retaliation will be there. Oh my goodness, Radium with the rotation. Rhapsody comes up, the shots connected, and he will be taking out another one as well. 3 onto the micro, and macro is coming as well into the hand of Jay.
4-0 plus the turtle. This is a very big win for the side of Team IQ SATUL, and you know it. The side of Team NOC, they started the fight, but they did not have the control over it. And Team SATUL, IQ SATUL, they completely punished Asuna. He didn't care who was in front of him. He just used the rough face on towards Haruka, who is an EXP laner, for your information. Like, you need to give the advantage, because they knew, Team SATUL knew that Haruka will be the one to set up the team fight. The rest of the members, they will give the follow-up, and that was there. But again, Radium picked up the Sky Piercer as the first item, not even completing his shoe, but Haruka, man, he is having a rough time this game. Already taken down twice, just in a matter of 3.5 minutes. This EXP laner is going to suffer a bad fate, but again, I think that's what is the idea behind SATUL. Stop the EXP in the early on so they cannot go for the setup. But Sarar Moon has a good positioning. Apex wants to open up the map, get a bit of taunt, but hey, that's a Hilda at the end of the day. What do you do about that, right, Ash?
Of course, I mean, in the early phase, the Hilda is right now very much good for the zoning and for the invasion. And you saw that from the very beginning. He finds a kill onto the Kimi's high loss. So this is what you can do with Hilda. You can give out that proper rotation. You can give out that proper zoning to your teams. And look at that. A little bit of taunt comes up. Sarar Moon started his way there. Kimi goes in, but will not be getting anything. But onto the bot.
1v1, like, hey, this is everyday EXP laners, but nobody will be falling so far. But again, the skills have been used. But Sarar Moon gets a shadow kill. He will get out. Nah, man. Wait, he survived. What?
He survived. Somehow he survived there. But onto the main. I don't feel Faden will survive. It will be. Asuna will be getting the kill, but look at that. It will be Kyle as well. Comes back and get that rotation out to Faden's kill, and he avenge Faden's kill as well by taking out Asuna there. But the zone, currently Apex goes in there. He doesn't have an entropy. Look at that. The taunt comes up. He goes back. With the help of the entropy, he just comes back. The cooldown, the beautiful timing for him, I can say. But a lot of resources burned down at this moment. I don't feel like Team NOC will contest out this turtle here. Zeho goes in there, starting out the turtle dance for himself. But look at the slash coming in. Haruka might goes in with the Bravest Spider, but the high loss with the glorious pathway popped up there. Turtle being acquired. by the side of team IQSATUL, and not only that, it finds the blue buff of Sirar Moon as well.
Yeah, a lot of denials, and now you can see Radium is farming really quick and really fast, but okay, Kyle might be in trouble here, Ash.
Yep. He's getting cornered, and he will be getting chunked as well. Radium got the final blow and added something onto his stack of Sky Piercers as well. But look at that. The blood off comes
Not
in,
done
and
yet.
Timmy is getting cornered. His cooldown onto his glorious pathway will not gonna let him go back. But look at that double kill with a death Sonata comes up, connected onto the way, and Faden falls down with Kimmy. So good. The rotation, the control onto the map. Look at this, Shinryu.
Such a beautiful transition from the side of team IQSATUL, but Sirar Moon, he wants to indicate one more fight, but not the best option. You're giving free kills to Radium, and now he has 50 stacks on towards the Sky Piercer. Not 50, it's actually 40. Brother, what are you thinking? You're not supposed to go by yourself while your team just got shut down, even though you're the jungler. That's not the right call, but you can see already the trouble Faden is in this game, right? Because he's the one constantly getting zoned out by the Kadita. That was the work of this Kadita, and for this game, that's a perfect hero to, mark down the backliners. But again, you can see Anti just trying to, just give some warnings now to the side of Team NOC to just, push themselves back towards their side of the jungle. They have already opened up the bot and the top tier ones. Now the mid one only standing, but again the blue buff or the purple buff in this case will be taken away. Not taken away, but it will be secured by Sirar Moon, which is a good thing. They need to farm pretty quickly, but the gold is not saying the same thing right here, Ash. Almost a 6k lead. While the turtle is spawning, I think it just might get more in a few minutes, that the NOC side will not be able to catch up quite easily. Because you can see they need some farm on their heroes, they need some placement of their heroes, but everything has been completely failed by the side, or stopped by the side of team IQSATUL. Once again, a fight.
The goal gap, and look at that. It will be the Bravest Fire coming in with the Ruins of Blood, but it will be a glorious pathway popping over there. Anti falls down. Zeho as well. Double kill for Kimmy. Monster comes up by Radium, and there you go. The Rock Waves comes in as well, but it will be the Rhapsody's damage, taking out a double onto Kyle, triple onto the man there, Sirar Moon, and it might be a Maniac as well by Radium. Oh goodness! This guy is proving himself with a double onto Faden. My goodness! With this, the divot is over. The gold standard divot is over. It is Radium over Kyle. He literally came. He literally saw. He conquered the scenario for himself with a savage onto him. Beautifully done. First it was onto Kyle. Second it was onto Sirar. And then it just finished away with the Fadens onto his hand.
Man, this is too crazy. This is like the side of team IQSATUL. They're doing a speed run in this match. Like, they are walking on the side of team NOC. They're walking and they're getting anything that they want. More fight here, Ash, and oh nah. This is going from bad to worse. One more Maniac here, is it? Is it?
Yes, Maniac. The knockoff comes in, and it will be a Maniac. Radium, the man who finds a Savage, and just after the Savage, he got the Maniac again. This guy is right now, having the blood rush into his vein, and look at this. You cannot stop them at this moment. It is 3-19, the scoreboard, and it is so high with a massive goal lead of 9k already. The gold shield, the holy shield, it will be popped out from both these sides. And Shinryu, it's kind of over for Noctura in this game.
Most likely, because it's very difficult to get out of the situation. If only they can shut down the Grandeur, at least 2 more members, maybe they can just find at least half of the gold that they have lost. The goal difference, the economy difference is almost of 10k. We're just talking about a 10 minutes game, not even 10, like 9.30, 9.5. So, this is tough, man. This is tough. Look at the gold ranking. Radium is almost 9.4k. While Kyle is just 6.3, the 3k goal difference, man. And I am not trying to be biased. I'm not trying to try to glaze the side of team IQSATUL, but they have done this game very well from this get-go, and they have gotten themselves so good leads. Second tiers have already fallen from the top side. The Lord has also been spawning or spawned onto the top side, so there's no way they can get the vision. They can actually have a escape route back to the safety, so they have to let go of the Lord, and now they cannot even secure their jungle. You can already see level 10 for Sararmoon, level 14, almost level 15 soon for Jay. This is like a stomp so far by the side of Team IQ as it will. In the first game itself in the series, 3 for 19. I think they have given a lot of kills, a lot of gold, which might be very difficult. If you see the damage dealt as well, Radium is so much more than Nathan. Because yes, Kyle is on a hero that requires the items, but the items have not yet kicked in, and because of that he cannot do much. But hey, the Lord is here, Ash. It will come crashing down onto the mid inhibitor.
Mid inhibitor slammed up by the Lord there. Entropy being popped up. Look at this. It will be the Blood Rain coming in with a Tony into the way. But Faden might get his hand onto Anti here. And Haruka falls down into the row as well. The 2 XP laner got down there. And she knew it might not be the finish we are hoping from the side of IQSATUL. So beautifully defend down the but now the inhibitor falls down with the Rhapsody's shots coming in. The knockoff happened. Jeho goes in but got a stun out there as well. Kimi with the poke though. And somehow Team Noctura Esports managed to defend their base, but the Nexus is totally open from the top and mid side because of the explosion.
Yeah, man, this is going to be very difficult, much more difficult than it already was. 12.1k lead. When have we seen that happening so often, man? 14 kills on Radium, 878 stack plus 80 stack on the Skypiercer. I feel sorry for the side of Team NOC because at this point, they can only do one thing, that would be pray, because they need a very big misplay from the side of Team IQSATUL, and I think more so they need the farm, because you can see the gold ranking as well, the gold difference as well. All of the members are very behind. Yes, Faden has caught up to a considerable amount of the gold, but we have to consider one more fact. The similarities are very different for these two teams. The lineups are very different. The need for both the lineups will be very difficult. But oh, here Ash!
Legendary comes up for Radium with a Faden falling down, double onto Haruka. Now he's going for another Maniac at this moment. Kimi, he needs to go back there, but it will be Kyle as well. He's getting the damages inside the base there, inside the crown, and now it is annihilation. It is annihilation from the side of SATUL, and they managed to secure that win. But Radium, this guy, one savage, one Maniac, one triple kill, and Kyle needs to stay in the base like a mice in the hole. And this guy is a tiger who was watching him. I mean, outside the hole. This is insane. I mean, the divot is over here. In the first game itself, the divot is over totally. This Radium over Kyle.
Yeah, I think the gap is a bit too much that we're looking at these two teams. Just first game though, we're just talking about this very first game. We're not talking about in general. We'll just take the facts that are in front of us. Yes, you can call it was a bad game, but was it really? I think it was very calculated by the side of Team IQSATUL to, first stop the EXP lane, then actually get the control over the neutral objective, and then proceed to the top lane, which is the gold lane, of course, where Kyle is farming. And even though they had a Eve, they had a high loss with a double slowdown combination, I think it completely got negated when the fact was there's a Kadita that can easily mark down your backliner, especially the one that will deal the damage, because in the early game they needed the Eve to provide the assistant or the damage, the little bit of the utility in the team fight. But then again, the main utility that was supposed to come was already stopped by the side of Team IQSATUL, and I could close my eyes and still say who was the MVP or the player of the match from the previous game. I kid you not. If Radium was not the one who got the MVP, then I would have just stopped casting in this game. But again, good luck for me as well. I did not want to stop cast, guys. I'm just kidding. But still, Radium, a very well-deserved MVP in this game. And did you see he had 1,014 gold per minute, Ash? 1,014. What?
Well, you can just say wealth at this point for the side of AOC. I mean, this is crazy, insane amount of damage, insane amount of gold R, and he was beast in the game, you can say. 1702 with a 12.6k. Oh my goodness, this is he's one of the king right now in the gold lane. I really want that IQSATUL versus Team Sacrishine clash, because Fate need to see what is Radium doing right now, and Radium also need to see what can Fate do, because it's over against Kyle now. it is like a dramatic win, you can see, but there was no chance for the side of Noctura to actually give a reply there. They went for the scaling draft though with a Pedrin and with a Natan, but how can you get the scaling if you cannot reach the late game even? Not even the mid game, proper mid game.
I think they did not have enough ways to stop the advances from the side of Team IQS well, because you can see 5 of their members can dive into your face, right? And even at times, I think there was a flicker play from Radium in the top lane, right? When he went for Faden, like, he didn't care. Like, he had enough damage, enough stack to go in and just easily secure the kill, and that's what happened. Even if you take the head-to-head, was there any head-to-head in this game in the gold lane? Not really. Because Radium completely dominated his lane. Not only his lane, he dominated the entire map. He was like there with the team, and you can see the damage disparities between the players. And Thorarmoon, he had a pretty good hero, but he could not perform because he got shut down way often. And the other frontliners that were there, both Kimi as well as Haruka, they could not do much either because it was a very huge margin in terms of the goal difference. And even for Faden, he was fated to meet a Kadita against him, so the Kadita can easily burst down Eve, because the Eve has a very stationed position while she uses the ultimate, and without the flicker she opted for a purify in this game. So without the flicker you cannot really reposition. Even if you purify out, this does not really matter, you can still get bursted down. And even for Apex, like, he didn't fall for a single time.
No,
he's like
unkillable. Yeah, this is what the roaming god can do. And 129 for Anti. Anti do literally give a lot of like teamfight participation, give out those ruins of blood beautifully in a setup way, and that setup literally give that finishing, and you're gonna see a lot of Radium faces.
Look at that.
Of course, retry the
1,014 gold. I'm not kidding you. This is like unseen. I think this is the highest amount of gold that we have seen throughout the whole Mythic Showdown Season 2. I have not seen 1,014. I've never seen it crossing the threshold of 800. 900 might be the maximum that I've seen so far. 1,014 is the first time I'm looking at that.
It's like Anna for a reason. Anna might be very happy from behind, like, my boys are doing great at this moment. All hail to Anna.
Hail to Anna, man.
Yeah. And now we are entering into the second game, and currently I believe Noctura Esports mindset would have been very much changes at this point, because the ruthless match just happened right now from the side of team onto the side of team Noctura by IQS. Literally, I think it would have been impacted their gameplay in the second game as well, because the domination was so high. They didn't even get the chance to even like flinch at the point. And even though the KDA of Kyle was so secured one, he played defensively 2-2-3. He was not giving his skills out there, but he was not even doing anything because of the scaling. He doesn't got the scaling at the point. And
he didn't get the scaling, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And in the end, it is over for the side of Noctura, I believe, because we need to pull out some 2-0 wins. And they lost one, so it will not be a 2-0. Of course, it might be a 2-1 at this point. They can go for the reverse sweep, but then cannot go for the clean sweep, and this will impact them into the selection for the playoffs, selection for the lands, which is going to happen in Guwahati. But guys, what will impact your thing? I will say that is the 3,000 giveaways right now going at War Drum Games in Mythic Showdown Season 2. And what do you have to do? A small thing for that. That is 350 likes. We have a mark already given. Reach 350 likes, and 30 lucky winners will be getting out 100 diamonds each today. And if you cannot reach, then no rewards for you all. And currently the watching is so high, so I believe, 90 likes is not much big, Shinju, for a feat to achieve.
This is like a child's play, just like how Radium did in the last game as well, I would say. But still, and it was a child play for him. But again, ladies and gentlemen, I feel even though the previous game was a very one-sided, more like a stomp, in this second game we might just see a bit of difference coming out. But again, in terms of bans, not so much. Again, it will be pretty the same, but this time the teams will switch sides. So IQS12 will have the first pick. Team NOC, they will get the second pick, but the bans again same. You will stop Kyle from getting his from his Harith, and for Team NOC they will stop Anti as well as Radium, both of them, to not get the Esmeralda, my bad, onto that. But again, this time I feel this is a dangerous grass map. Will be a bit different, right? A bit more ambush. And you know, one fact that I really loved from the previous game was that only one person built the Sky Piercer. Like the Kadita did not go for the Sky Piercer, and even I think Jay did not go for the Sky Piercer as well. So in a way, this is much better, because if you're playing a tournament, if multiple people they build the Sky Piercer, then the stacks or maintaining the stack is very difficult. You need to actually get the stack on one person, get him very fed, what the side of Team IQS definitely did in the previous game. Enabled Radium to actually, secure the skills and carry them. So that's a very good way. If not the Hayabusa, if not the Kadita, then let the gold laner do it. So I think for the side of Team NOC, they were trying to do the same, but their early game plan kind of just diminished the moment they were not really having that positioning into this team fight, because the side of SA12, they were, I think, one step ahead of Team NOC. They knew what they were planning to do, and because of which they first stopped the EXP laner, so the engage became minimal, and then they were starting to mark Faden when he was trying to position himself, because it's very easy to mark Faden onto a Purify. And again, if you take a look at the previous draft as well, you can see some of the same heroes getting banned once again. The Alice this time, though, will be banned by the side of Team IQ SA12 themselves, so they do not want that hero to be there. A new ban joining this time would be the Kalea, I guess, because Kalea was left open last game. The Grok is open this time. So if Apex want, then he can go for the Grok. If not, then maybe just go for the Lapu Lapu Hayabusa. Okay, Hayabusa, okay. Hayabusa is still good. Repicked by Jay. I think they are trying to stop Srar Moon getting his Hayabusa. Maybe he'll again revert to pick the Fredrin, isn't it, Ash? Because I think that's one of his strong heroes too.
I believe, why Fedrin? I mean, the Suyu is right now having the buff. You can go against a Hayabusa with the Suyu and you can easily counter it out. So why not a Suyu here? He do play the Suyu. He's a ghost with the Suyu as well. I mean, I don't know why he's not taking his comfort, why he's going for the utility at this point.
I think it might just be the confidence level, or maybe not the comfort level at this point. Not the confidence. I think it's more of a comfort with the lineup. I think they're not really.
Terrarmoon is not comfort with Suyu?
Maybe the team is not comfortable with that composition. That could be one of the case. But again, they pick up the Yuzhong, which I really like, because they need something to type the backline. But if the side of Team IQ as well as IQ SA12 does not pick a hero into the backline that is a standalone mage that requires the peeling, then what is the purpose of the Yuzhong? Because the Hayabusa can easily wait. Yes, they have a very good dive with two of the heroes, the Grok as well as the Yuzhong, but I have seen even yesterday when Hide on Bush picked this hero, when the team is completely cut, from joining the team fight, the dragon does not do anything. It's just a sitting duck, getting his passive triggered, but eventually falling to his demise. And that's not what you want the dragon to be doing. So I hope they can actually enable the dragon this time, because enabling the hero is one of the most important part of the execution of the draft. Because you pick a good hero, does not really matter. But if you do not have the proper execution, that is going to be the problem. But here comes a Zuxin as well as a Lapu Lapu.
As you mentioned, you don't want to go for a stationary mage who can get vulnerable to the side of Yuzhong. They really went for that mobility kind of mage. I mean, Crimson Bacon, you have a Flicker, and you have a little bit mobility in the early game as well. So Yuzhong cannot catch you easily at this point, and he will get the hindrance with the Lantern Flare as well. I mean, that was the case. They were actually thinking to give out that Eve onto the side of IQ SA12, and then baiting out this Yuzhong for their side. And again, we're going to see that Fedrin onto the hand of Terrarmoon. I was hoping for a Suyu, but no. As my friend mentioned, they might not be comfortable with that pick. They might not be getting synergized with the Suyu's pick of Serrar. So they're going with another time with that utility jungler here. And I believe there might be a ban onto the Xborg this time from the side of Noctura, because it's more like the Xborg can go to the goal lane. But before we goes to we'll talk about the second banning phase. Shinu, I mean, Kyle loves to play the Yuzhong into the goal. Do you think this Yuzhong can go with the goal lane priority?
Could be. I think goal and Yuzhong can also work, but what are you going to put on the EXP lane? You can put the Arlot, maybe, but against the Zuxin. I do not like the R-Lord so much because they need something that can actually have a bit of immunity. The Garud Kacha is banned, so I don't think so they can actually use the Garud to the EXP, but it's not
What
worth
about
it.
Uranus?
Same thing, it's like just soaking the damage. It will be way too tanky. They need a bit more damage, I believe, because they have three tanky heroes. Now they lack the damage. I think the mid and the gold should be something of the damage type. That's why they're banning off the tanky heroes, because they want something to be a bit of damage. Maybe the Bruno, maybe the Claude, could be either of the one, or maybe again the Nathan. Once again, the Nathan could be the option. But this time, since they have already picked the mid lane, I love the fact they're banning away the Eve from the side of Team IQS as well. They know that this hero can come through, but look at that. They're banning the grandeur themselves, so they do not want the grandeur. They're trying to put something else on towards Radium. So, a different approach, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Grok is already picked. There is a ban onto Khalid and Hilda. There is a Kalea. And so too, there is a ban onto the Alice as well. So, I believe, are we smelling a chip here for FX?
Now that you mention it, could come through, but let's be realistic, or not realistic, but let's be a bit practical from their side. Oh wait, Faden actually pulled up the Selena. That's after a very long time. But hey, it's against the Zuxin, Hayabusa, and Lapu Lapu. Now they go for Baxia. How will that work? I am not really too sure, but I felt they need a bit more damage, but not in the form of Selena, though maybe they could have gone for the Lunox. The Kimi could have worked as well in this matter because they have three good peeling heroes. It would be very difficult for the Hayabusa to actually reach the backline that easily. The Lapu Lapu can, but the Kimi has enough ways to evade those engages. But let's see what they want for Radium, or maybe for Anti, because the Lapu Lapu can be a gold as well, isn't it?
Of course, and if Anti really wants to go with, he can go with his 100% win rate kind of hero. That is the We know what's cooking, man. I was thinking they will go for something damage, but I was not expecting the carry. But now it makes sense because they want to shred down the frontliners. But again, the carry has very minimal range. You can build the Malefic gun, but still the range would not be as big as the Layla. Let's just take for an example. The Layla has a huge range, right? It's not even close. It's not even half, maybe a 1/4 of that range, the Layla. But again, they needed something a bit more range. Maybe I think even the Nathan could have worked in this case, because there's a Lapu Lapu that will be going on towards Radium. Then there is a Phoveus there, but the Phoveus can kind of shut down the carry in some regard, as long as the carry is not heavily fed. And also coupled with, I would say, has locked in his Trinity build. So yesterday, I think we saw this same build, same hero from the side of team Dakusen as well. But NOC, they kind of stopped it with the Claude. So I hope they can do something similar in this game. I mean, I hope they can get the farm onto the carry, because they have early game pretty much solid. But I'm kind of fearing the point that the Selena might suffer against the Zuxin. There's a lot of ways for the side of team IQS it will to punish the members here, Ash. Let's see what will be happening in this game so far. Anti going for his 100% win rate hero, that is the Phoveus. I mean, it does have a little bit losing side as well. I mean, I believe it is in the Nerd 3.0 only. When he was playing from this Noctura Esports, he just got slammed by the Lapu Lapu of Romcom. So it is not having that 100% win rate right now in each and every tournament. But so far in the Mythic Showdown, it does have that 100% win rate, because he does not use Phoveus yet, and he's here with his comfort pick against Noctura Esports. Hope, dream to the playoff scene. Let's see what will be happening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Land of Dawn for the game number 2 of the match number 2 as well, in the round robin stage, day number 5. That is between Team IQ Soul versus Team Noctura Esports. The previous battle has been won by IQ Soul. Not only won, they just destroyed Noctura Esports in that previous battle. But now it's time for Noctura to actually give out that proper setup, proper comeback for their team. Lantern Flare already coming in. Hindrance onto the Jukshin. Onto the Faden.
Yeah, I told you, right? The mid will be a bit of a problem, but again, you can see Asuna getting locked in. Oh, he is still okay, because you can see the Revitalize used perfectly well by Apex out there. So a good peel for his teammate. But again, Jeho will easily secure the Lethal Wanderer, so getting that early level lead in terms of the stack on towards the Retribution as well will be very important for him. But again, the mid lane is completely being, gate kept by the side of team IQ As12. It's very important because they're trying to deny the level 4, especially for the two of the mid laners, and also preventing them from rotating around the map. So they're achieving two things at the same time, which is very important. This is not only hampering the map control, as well as also giving less intel about where the Hayabusa is, or from where the Hayabusa will go in and engage. As you can see, the mid lane has not been stopped yet, but again, there comes the arrow, connects. But will they commit is the question here, Ash. They're going in, but oh no! Asuna falls, first blood, locked in.
Beautifully taunting him out there, but what is happening onto the top side? It will be a 2v1. Zeho will be just securing the kill onto Haruka and settling the micro scores before the turtle. But now the turtle setup, it is kind of a early start from the side of team Noctura Esports, and I believe Kimi will give a lot of hindrances onto the turtle side, and it will be the first turtle getting into the hand of the side Noctura. And there you go, a little bit of taunts coming in with a poke onto the Kimi, but GG zone comes up. But again, Faden goes in, and there is a stun comes up with a taunt coming in, and this time the freezes wave comes up as well. But still, oh my goodness, the arrow, the trap,
what the flicker
goes in, a little bit overextensive, but he will be checked out. Asuna, with all odds, he finds himself safe in that position.
Yup, that is a tank build, Luxian, I would say, because the Luxian nowadays they go for the basic common emblem with the tenacity and the bravest smith. So you can see, right, it's right there, Ash. That is the tanky one. So it's very difficult to actually punish with that kind of emblem setup. But again, side of team IQ As12, despite losing the turtle, they're still able to control the gold. Having that economy will be very crucial for them, because they need, again, this time they do not have a gold. I'm a marksman on the gold laner, so they have to enable their mid, especially Jeho. So he needs that early kill, but this time the Litho being won by Sarar Moon once again. So small wins matter, right? But again, Asuna is a bit ahead, does not have the Crimson Beacon anymore, takes the head on deck charge, but now comes the Black Dragon here, Ash. They're going for it.
A Freezer Wraith comes up as well, but there is a little bit of taunt. It's a Quad Shadow connecting onto Kimi, but it will not getting a hand onto the hand of Zeho. But Asuna falls down behind. There you go, the dives comes up, and Aruka falls down with Anti going with the demonic charge there. He will be claiming on that kill onto him, onto the Haruka, but there you go, onto the bot side.
Free farming, Kyle. That's what they need to do. But oh, here comes Jeho. Will he go for the Quad Shadow? He had that, but he did not have the Shadow kill. But now Kyle does have the flicker. But when will he commit that? Oh, right time! Radium cannot reach him. But now Radium might fall. He goes in with the flicker. Takes down Kyle, but also loses his life in the process. So that's two of the goal laners down. The turtle is here, and I think SA2L, they might want to secure it this time though. But unfortunately, for the side of team SA2L, they did not have their goal laner, but the EXP one will be rotating here, Ash.
OBS comes here, there. Lantern Flare coming in as well. Anti goes in, the tech charge comes up, Quad Shadow being reused, and it will be Anti giving on Kimi. He falls down there with a turtle right now. Might be getting secured out by the side of Team IQ Soul. But before that, look at this. Anti still not stopping. He's going inside. Double being secured. Shutdown happened with that Freezer's Wraith coming on to Anti. It might be that taunt. Not that Freezer's Wraith, just the taunt. And Jeho finds the turtle into his hand. Hayden couldn't do anything. He goes back. But look at Kyle onto the top side. He was actually going for that. But there is a fight coming in.
No way, they're still going for the stem. Apex will be falling, the Abyssal Arrow connected, but again up top, Bravest Fighter versus the Speedy Light Will. I think the Speedy Light Will might have a bit more speed this time around to keep him alive, but now the rotation comes, Jeho goes in, the Quad Shadow as well as the Shadow kill will secure the kill, and now he needs to back out, but the damage has been done. The carry has been felled twice, but now Jay is getting locked in, overloaded with the damage. Cannot find an escape. Kimi takes him down, but Rarmon is still trying to go for the fight. But here comes the bravest fighter. Radium wants to give the damage. The praises are dropped down, but the bodies are yet to getting dropped down. It will Asuna getting the kill onto Rarmon, and now Kimi is just trying to run, but he's getting pulled up, locked up, knocked up, everything up, and sent up to the heaven.
Of course, but into the mid side. I mean, Kyle One strategy is to push out all those tiers, but into the mid side, he's giving out the pressure with the lane. But look at that, Zeho comes in, and with that, Apex gives out the rotation. Kyle might pause out at this moment, but look at the damage coming in and goes with a quad shadow.
Oh, still backline survives, goes back in, man. Ooh, these teams, they're so close to each other. But hey, one good thing for the side of Team NOC, they have pushed the bot lane tier 1 match. So that will be a bit helpful. But same for the side of Team IQUSA duel as well. They have pushed the top. So a good trade for, a cross-map play. But I think at this point, the main matter or main purpose these teams would have to go for will be securing the neutral objective, isn't it? Because the last turtle will be spawning really soon. So they need to go for the setup. They need to secure it. But again, in terms of the gold is still in the hands of Team IQUSA duel. But for how long will be the question. But again, Ash, another skirmish here.
Another skirmish coming in with the lantern player being used. Crimson Beacon popped up as well, but there is Anti going into the two members. He got a little bit stunned with the Abyssal Arrow connecting onto him, but still not stopping himself. He's going for the Demonic Charge, Infinite Pursuit coming in. The Vengeance popped up as well, but look at that. Haruka needs to go back. At this point, the turtle fight is still going on. Sararmun going for the contest. He goes for the appraiser's way.
He picks it up.
And finds the turtle there. With J-Hope finding the kill onto Sararmun. But look at Ante. He's still going in. Sliver of HP. Haruka needs to forced out to use his Black Dragon form. And he's still in a very bad position at this moment. He might be taken out by Ante, but he's going for the dive. He's going for the re-attack. But look at that. It will be the lantern player once again coming in, and he's getting cornered by the two members, and will be getting a final blow from the hand of Asuna. Beautifully done. Beautifully busted.
Yep, Kyle also got taken down in that team fight, so now the gold laner will have a bit more tough time to actually get the farm, get the items more easily. But again, you can see the level ranking. Jay free farming this game, like not only is free farming, might be some of the time he's aura farming as well. So we'll see, if he can make a good play at the same time. But again, the star of the show so far has been Anti and Radium, the side laners. They're giving in so much of the pressure, and they've really geared up the gameplay as well. You can see the the fights are happening so fast. They're not giving too much of a time. Again, mid lane though here, Ash, the tech charge connects, but that will be just to disengage the fight. But now the side of Team. Oh wait, Kyle has a good damage here. Takes down Asuna. They're going for more here, Ash.
Okay, the Black Dragon popped up as well, giving out the zone. Anti right now getting trapped down, but he went with that.
Oh no!
He will be deleted down by Kyle. The damage is so high at this moment. He's melting down the tanky members. Look at that. Haruka finds the kill onto Radium. 3-man falls down from the side of IQ Soul at this moment. And they need to retaliate back. It's just Zeho and Apex. And with this, there is a hope for Noctura Esports to make their comeback into the scene. And maybe the hope can take them up to the playoffs. Who knows? But still, IQ Soul will not gonna leave out at this moment. They're not gonna stop themselves. They will fight back. They will make sure that they will give another 2-0 and another points into their round robin stage.
You know what? Despite everything, the goal is still in the side of Team IQUSA duel. So I think NOC, they need to get back the goal. Another stun connects, but the tech charge will not. Che finds the escape for now, but the main target or the main priority for these teams would be the Lord. So I think they need to keep Skyle safe for now, give as much as spacing or bait as much as skill they can out of Team IQUSA duel, especially take down Radium, Anti, then they're good to go. But again, Jeho wants to lock on towards Faden, and no way, man. That's a Hayabusa locking you down. Even the flicker will not save you. And now it's a 4v5. And look at the position from both Anti as well as Apex, man. They know something, and Kimmy will open up the map, but the team, they're kind of far away.
Let's see. Serakin comes up. Serakin go for that Appraiser's Raise Retribution combo. Right now, Haruka going in with the zone, and it will be the Crimson Bacon Lantern player coming in as well. A lot of interest has been done to Seramun, but look at that. Haruka managed to do something onto the map, and Zeho needs to retaliate back. Lord got reset down there. He right now being zoning out. Seramun goes inside the Lord zone, and he will be taking out the first Lord into his hand. Quachero comes up.
Oh, Haruka falls. Damn, but still the side of Team NOC will take the Lord away. And now Team SHUL, they want to take more engage, but a Price's threat drops. Apex is low on HP, but still they cannot take down the kill. But there goes Radium on the turret. He's still trying to survive. It's not Radium, it's actually Anti. Who falls now? Asuna takes a lot of damage. The flicker committed from the side of team. No NOC, but Asuna 2 falls. 2 bodies down. 3. Kyle gets a double now. Jeho is on to the run with the quad shadow, but he's out of shadow now. He gets locked in. 4 members of Price's threat drop down, but Payden, he gets the shutdown. Apex all by himself, while the side of Team IQ SHUL had lost the vision from the Lord, which will be marching from the bot lane. The push is here from the mid lane. Team NOC, they can try to end the game. The death timer is not too long. Team IQ SHUL should be back on map. The holy defense still there, so I think it's not a game over yet here, Ash. So there's still time. There's still time. Both the teams, they need to make the right decisions here.
Is the debate back? Is Kyle back? Is Kyle online?
Yeah, maybe. This time he's on a marksman, right? So should be a better game. I mean, last game he was too, but he's fed. That's the difference, right?
Okay, let's see what will be happening. But right now, the Holy Blazes are still standing on, but no, the minions marching in will be popping it out as well into the mid side. Onto the top, though, they do have the Holy Blessings already being not being popped out because of the second tier standing there. And there is a Sarar Moon who is taunting out and giving out the zone properly. But this is the thing. You need to stop out Kyle at this moment. And the backline diver, it is the Hayabusa and the Jushin, I believe. Tech charge comes up.
Oh, once again, but they cannot convert Asuna, Crimson Beacon out. But again, another Abyssal Arrow connects, but they would not want to commit. Now the priority is the Lord, but again, look at Apex. He's trying to bait out some kills, but again, here comes engage onto his Kimmy. But he say, okay, but again, the stun connects onto his Anti. He's using the Avengers to survive for long. But how long is the question? The side of Team NOC, they're committing everything. Haruka will get a shutdown. Or the Slain onto was one more member, but now the Petri combo connects onto his Anti. He too falls. Haruka picks up double the shadow kill onto the backline. But it will be enough to take down Payden, but now he's out of options. Kyle is there, so is Kimmy, and he has to say goodbye. The Praises Rat drop down onto the mid lane. The Taunt 2 connects onto his Apex. They're trying to lock him down, but not enough damage to take him to his death. But the bot lane, you can see, charge connects, but it misses out. But Radium clears out the minions, but more waves are coming from the mid and the bot. So the side of Team NOC, they have not yet been able to crack open the inhibitor yet. But again, the Lord here, Ash, is still due. Both the teams should be available for taking it down.
Of course. And this is the thing we're talking about. And when the carry got the early game snowball, he will be an invincible warrior. He's a tank killer. And he's right now doing the same thing. And look at that. The Lord clearance will be so fast at this moment that IQ SHUL will not have any chance to go for the contest. They actually went for it, but they're not having it because before they can reach it out, the Lord will be damaged. It will be taken out easily. And now the taunt comes up. Sarar Moon in a very bad position, but he managed to retaliate back. And with this, the second tier falls down. All those tiers goes down with the Wraith Sea acquiring the blue sea there. And not only that, there is a taunt coming in.
No.
There is a fight coming in. Monster being secured by Kyle on Asuna. Not only that, he's going for a double at this moment. Anti falls down. Can it be a triple at this point? Let's see. He's melting out at this moment, and he will be securing the triple onto Apex. Savage might be incoming, and he will be destroying out the inhibitor. The quad shadow kill combo comes in, but the gold standard is back. He is giving that gap onto Radium. The Princess and the Savage comes up. First match it is Radium. Second game it is Kyle. The goal laners are literally defining the game here. And it will be a game number 3 we'll be entering in because Team Noctura Esports just win the game in the second one and make the score into a tiebreaker 1-1 in this BO3 series with a Savage onto the hand of Kyle. Why only Radium will do? Why cannot I? The debate is still going on. It is not over yet. I am back. I'm online. I'm conquering this match again.
It's like, let my gameplay answer your question, right? He proved us wrong. Kyle, he said the debate is not over yet, guys. He matched up the tempo. Like, it was not looking as in the first game, but this time it definitely was a very good game for Kyle. I think he got free farm, he got free space to get his item, and he was like monster equally compared to the last game, how much of Radium was, and I think he really pulled the game coupled with his team, they performed so well. Haruka, like going in, marking the backline, like it was such a beauty to watch. And I feel much props goes to how the side of Team NOC kept their carry safe. It was like, the carry was the carry of the game, right? So he delivered, man. He delivered, and I will want to see him on the MPB scene, but no, it's a rare moon. Steal the show, man. He steals the show, and I think he did pretty good himself too.
Of course. I mean, this is the comeback we are hoping from the side of team, NOC, and this is Sarar Moon who is getting the MVP here with a KDA of 2-3, not 2-3. There's a KDA of 3-15. That was the assist. That was the taunts he was giving. That was his presence in each and every team fight. And being a chunky one, he was literally, absorbing all those damages. And if you have seen the damage taken, that was a 72.0k mark onto Kimi. And this is what Kimi was doing with his Grok. I mean, giving out that Grok into the hand of Kimi might be a biggest, mistake coming out from IQ's Soul at this moment. But carried the match with his carry. Kyle with a savage managed to defend his title. Managed to not defend his title, managed to, somehow start the debate again that who is the gold standard of India.
You know what, Ash? I just feel maybe not the goal lane, but maybe the roam was a problem for Team NOC, because the Baxia in this case did not really work that well against the Grok. Maybe the setup potential was quite less. Yes, they had the side laners to actually enable the team fight, but they kind of lacked the crowd control in there, because the Zuxin, she needs to go in, or she needs to get the gap closed. But if she get too close, there's a Yu Zhong, there is a Fredrin. On top of that, there's a Grok. So every time she has to bait out the Crimson Beacon, and then there is the Purify only available for her. So the same thing, too much heroes to mark. But look at Kyle, man. He had his complete build, just fell 3 times. Like, he was shut down in the early game, but that was just in the early game. After that, he pulled up the pace and he was there to, answer back. But in terms of damage taken, Radium did very good, but I think the Hayabusa, he kind of fell off in the late game. He was trying to go for the shadow kill, but the damage was distributed among the members, and because of which, after his shadows were over, the side of Team NOC tried to mark him then, isn't it?
Of course, Shinryu. And Faden with the Selena, which was the thing we were sussing about, and we're not sure what he gonna do, but he was absolutely doing miraculous gameplay, miraculous outplays there with his Abyssal Arrow. His Abyssal Arrow was connecting onto the Jukshin, also onto the Apex, and having this Baxia around there in the dangerous grass would have been a better pick, but it could not give that much effect, you can say. But
True.
Still, it with a 029. But this guy with the phobias somehow managing to give out that vibe that IQ SATUL might gonna give out the 2-0 clean sweep, but then NOC happened there with those chunky picks, and there you go, the wingman. It is Faden. The sandbag, it is Apex. The carry, it is obviously, Sarar Moon. No.
Kyle is the carry. Kyle is the carry. Oh, wait, the carry, right? Oh, yeah, you're right. I thought you're mentioning about the hero carry. Kind of, same words, right? But a bit different. So, yep, the carry of the game, Sarar Moon, definitely, Ash.
But still, Shinryu, 1,000 gold per minute is still a dream for both.
Damn, no way. That is untouchable. Like, I think that's a different standard set by Radium in the previous game. But I think Kyle, he was able to match the aggression to a very good manner. But still a bit of refining is required, because NOC, they won the game, but they had to struggle in the early game. That is also provided that they had a late game draft too for the gold laner to get enabled. Before that, the Selena could not really work too well, let's just say, because the stuns were connecting, but who's going to go in? And how is it going to go in? Because there's so many ways to punish. But I feel in the late game, the damage was enough. The shred was enough, basically, by the carry to punish the frontliners. And even if you have a hero as tanky as the Baxia, but if there's a carry who's a tank butcher or a tank killer, right, it's pretty much, free hero to actually hit on. So I feel, in a way, maybe just go for a bit more set heroes, or a hero that can actually provide more pressure Because yes, I would get what they were trying to do with the Baxter. They were trying to just get the vision, get the the anti-heal or the anti-region in the map. But still, like, I think for Apex, he's more of a playmaker. He's the one who set things up with the side laner. So give him a hero that can get set more, maybe the Grok or something like that. Because giving the Grok to the other team was not the right option, like you also mentioned. Because Kimmy, he's also very good with the Grok himself, isn't it?
I think Noctura, the God Slayers, they managed to pull out a win against RNT, take out the game into the third decider, and now against SATUL as well, they're going for that third game decider. So both the teams literally felt some, like pressure against Noctura Esports, even though they're losing out. Chances for the playoffs is a little bit low, but still they are pulling out that A game, and this is because of Kyle and Kimmy's combo. You can say Saramun as well, but now we're heading into the third game decider, the tiebreaker. And as IQ SATUL just pulled out 2-0 fashion yesterday for 2 times, not only for 1 time, for 2 times, is about to go for that hat trick. But it is Kyle with the Savage who managed to halted the Stapes, who managed to give that stop in this road for 2-0 fashion for IQ SATUL. But we'll be heading into the game number 3. And right now, I mean, there are a lot of picks being open, a lot of picks, like they can come up with 2 games. And we saw that Radium and, not Radium, it is Jeho and Saramun win for the same picks, the Fedrin and the Hayabusa. Do you think that there's going to be some change into the jungle for both these sides, or they will still go for their same picks and going to show the same strategy? But I don't believe, because, like somehow in the third game, you really know the strategy, you might going to counter it out. So I believe a little bit change is needed.
While I agree with you, I think banning of the Hayabusa is not the option here, because they need to ban the Esmeralda, the CC as well as the Kalea for some reason, because those heroes are very impactful in the game. The Hayabusa, we see the impact, it is there, but in the late game it kind of wear off, right? We saw what was the fate in the last game for the Hayabusa. He was going in, he was getting the mark properly done, right? He even got a kill onto his Faden near the Lord Pit. That was there. Like, that pressure will always be there, but if you talk about the entire team fight, while he can only go in would be the point when the members are low on HP. He cannot go and instigate the team fight. If he tries to go and do that, then he will be already stripped off his HP. He'll be forced to recall, and then the fight already becomes a 4v5, and it will be favoring the other team, isn't it? And while for Saramun, he's on a hero that can auto regen, because he's gonna build the Guardian helmet. So he's gonna get the regen maximum number of the times, and even if he does not, if he uses the Appraiser's Wrath, he can get the regen. And I think one of the factors which is also very important for the side of Team NOC to win the last game was actually securing the Lord into the team fight. Once they got the Lord advantage, they had to just do one thing, maybe get the shutdown and maybe get the pressure being built up. But this time you can see IQ SATUL will still have the first pick. I think they have won the toss here, so NOC they will be for the second pick, but this time Faden's hero is banned, so that is the only change that we are glowing and looking for. But look at that, man, the Eve being the first pick option, so the priority for the Eve is still very high for most of these teams. But again, you're giving away the Grok. Is that the right option?
I will tell that before I tell our viewers that the 50 likes is K diamonds. Please like the stream, please interact in the stream. If you really want to be in that 30 lucky names for the 100 diamonds giveaway to each members for 30 members, of course. And not only that, you need to join our Discord server and follow us in our Instagram and social handles to know info about the giveaways, about the LAN which is going to happen in Guwahati, and more about the tournament. So please subscribe the channel, like the stream, comment in the stream, and do not forget to share the stream to your friends. And let's go to the game right now. Let's go to the draft section, Shinryu. And it is about the bans currently. A Selena Respect ban, which was kind of not believing for my side, because in this meta, you were going for a Selena ban just because Faden pulled out a big game in the last one. But you're leaving out a lot of picks with that ban. I mean, there is the Forza, there is the Jushin. They can go for the Jushin as well. And again, okay, Haruka with the comfort this time though.
Yeah, not Haruka, it's actually Anti with that hero, I believe, because it's the side of team IQ SATUL, right? So I mean, for Haruka, yes, he's also in his comfort. I think for him, this Alice suits really well, right? So they're trading off the Alice for the Yuzhong, but still for Sarar Moon, he's going in for the Fredrin once again. So meaning that he's still gonna be using that hero for himself. So 2 of the last game heroes have been re-picked. 2 of the heroes which were banned, one of them will be picked by the sub-team IQ SA12, the other one will be inside of team NOC. This kind of reflects the fact that these heroes are very impactful. At the same time, like Ash already mentioned, banning the Selena in this game is really showing the respect they're putting on Faden, because I think Faden is one of those very good Selena users. Like, and there are multiple utility for the Selena as well. One, that you can get the vision. Second, you can get the stun. And the longer the stun distance is, the longer the stun duration will be as well, right? So in a way, I think that really puts a lot of pressure when you're playing the heroes like Eve and everything, because you cannot use your skill. And now with the dive that is there from side of team IQ SA12, it's looking much better, because I mentioned for Apex, put him on a hero that can go for the set. I think for him, making those sets are very crucial, because his team needs that. And I think with the box range or with the hitbox the side of team IQ SA12 are playing in this game, it's going to be really very important for them, because you can see the side of team Noctura, they want to play in their own AoE space as well, right? Because they have the Alice, they have the Fredrin, and both of them can get melted with the Eve. So at this point, they... okay, I was not expecting a Balman ban, honestly, but then again, it works. You know, it actually works, because against the Fredrin, the Balman can free hit, then you also have the true damage out of the lethal ignition. So maybe it is not lethal, I mean, lethal counter, not the lethal ignition, my bad. Lethal ignition is the emblem. So the lethal counter can dish out the true damage, right? So because of that, maybe that is what Team NOC are thinking the side of Team IQ SA12 might pull off.
But they can go with a Gwynny. If you're thinking so high for a Balman, then they...
True. You're actually right on spot about that, man.
But it's fine. It's fine. Yep, they have some strategy into their side.
Yes, actually.
Granger.
Seriously, yeah. But actually, they can actually go for the Guinevere if they want. If not the Hayabusa, maybe the Guinevere, or maybe even the Baxia jungle, right? No?
Yep. Baxia jungle, it's gonna work again. Of course, why not? But J-Ho, he loves to play those Fanny, Hayabusa, Suyu kind of picks, those assassin kind of picks. But there you go, Faden,
fancy mid laner,
going for the Valentina pick. I mean, last time it was kind of raunchy with that Selena, but this time it is with the Valentina. And you're gonna copy out that RWM, the Desert Tornado, not the Desert Tornado, the Raging Sandstorm, and more to come. Who knows? Like if they will go for that Guinevere,
maybe
then you can go with the Valedictorian as well.
If not the Guinevere, maybe the Suyo. If they do not want to go for the utility, maybe if they want to go for the damage, I think if that they are not wanting to pick the Hayabusa, maybe the Suyu could be the next best option. And apart from what I have seen, Jay even playing the Sun in some games, like it's long back, but still I think the Suyu will be much better option here. If not the Guinevere, if not the Hayabusa, because they needed some kind of assassin, and this really works well.
Yeah, they went for the Suyu, so accurate with the draft Chinryu, and not only that, they went with the Thamuz this time, and this Thamuz EXP, whereas the gold Yuzong will be played by Radium here. Another time, another carry pick. Savage,
but Savage will it work this time?
In my mind, not only in my mind, but into the IQ SA12 mind as well. But this time, I believe Anna have some strategy against this carry, and IQ SA12 might gonna give out that 2-1 victory for them, or we're gonna see a reverse sweep pattern coming out from NOC, because last day it was NOC's day. They managed to pull out their first win in this round robin stage against Dakusena, and again another Mumbai server game, and it is between Team IQ SA12 versus NOC. And last match, turning event match, you can say a tiebreaker, you can say it a match point for both, you can say it a do or die for both, or you can say it the heaven's call, whatever you want to say it. But it will gonna define some points into the point table, and it will also gonna define the tour to the playoffs, the possibility to the playoffs for Noctura Esports.
Absolutely. I think the previous game already had set the tempo for both these teams, and we saw two Savage, not only Maniacs, two Savage from both the games. So I hope the third game might bring us something else, but again, Radium will be on Fighter once again, while Kyle will get his Comfort Marksman. So let's see how different it will be, but the lineups are looking really stacked. Nothing too different on the spell department, I would say pretty normal for all the heroes, so it's all down to the execution here, Ash. Let's see how does that go for this game.
Okay, let's go, guys. Let's go for the game number 3. And Shindu, this game is kind of, Team Noctura Esports, they're kind of having a pick-off comps kind of draft, or you can say a scaling kind of draft, having that carry again. This time, the last time it was IQSATUL who couldn't manage to give out that carry a hindrance in the early phase. So this time they might gonna change their path, might gonna give out those early game rotation into the goal lane and some skirmishes into the goal lane, so that the carry will not get the early game snowball and not gonna scale out in the late and gonna melt out all those members from IQSATUL. And they do have a Khalid, so they can mark him out easily, the backline diver. And Thamuz at the same time will have the impact onto the team fight participation as a damage dealer, and as well as to slowing down the enemies. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, for the game number 3 between Team Noctura Esports versus IQSATUL at War Drum Games Mythic Showdown Season 2. The defending champions yet to pull their second win in the round robin stage against the Giants, who just showed their face yesterday and managed to clinch out 2-0 fashion kind of win. It is me, STZ, with Shinryu casting out this game, and we're gonna see that early game already. We're gonna see that those skirmishes coming in, and look at that, there's a taunt. Faden forcibly used his flicker out, baiting it out there, and there is a knockoff coming out from Kimi as well. Sliver of HP needs to go back.
Yep, absolutely, and this is the early game pressure the side of team IQSATUL can put, and more this kind of pressure will bait out more resources out of NOC, so they need to really be careful about not really reducing their choices too much for the contest into this first middle objective, which will be very important for them because they need the scaling as well. And if we talk about the emblems, but before that, Sir Moon is getting really engaged on heavy, will not get that level 4 secured because you can see 4 of the members are lurking in the vicinity. Haruka as well as Kimi needs to rotate for him to secure that, but the wall will be drawn there and a bit of damage coming through, but can they punish here? I don't think so, but here comes Jay, who is still level 3, gets the retribution, steals away that lizard from Sir Moon, still kind of restricting him into just not getting this level 4. But again, Ash, the small wins, the small goal lead for the side of Team IQSATUL is like a wonder, and with this turtle already coming up, I think they should be the more favorable side to take it down for themselves.
Yeah, because of the level 4 mark, early level 4 mark for this, and like Suyu is easy to take out those turtle, but there is a fight, the charge comes up. Okay, the charge comes up there, but it will be Haruka backing down himself, and the total dance already started from Zeho. Nobody is there to zone him out as well. Level 4 mark for Haruka, and there you go. He might go for the Ruin of Blood, but before that, Retribution will be taking out the total. And there is a fight coming in, 2v1 going in there into the bot side, but into the mid. Faden, he needs to get back.
Yeah, man, I think it's a good turtle take. So far, the team fight has not been so crazy that it will just, give a definite early game victory to either of the side. But again, the pressure is something that NOC had to constantly go through and constantly be wary of. You can see they already had to, submit a lot of the map space, because of which they cannot really secure the first turtle. And now they have to even let go of the goal lead in the early game. So securing that level 4 will be very crucial. You can see already for Faden is still level 3 and will get engaged on, but level 5, Hamu's out there and has to again forcibly use the flicker to get out of the RWM. So many resources just to give the warning shot, and even for Sir Moon, he's trying to go for an engage here. Apex is a target, but the Raging Sandstorm, both of them used, but neither of them connects at the right spot. But look at the Black Dragon coming in now.
Now Faden doesn't have a flicker to bait it out, and this time Faden will be the one getting out, and first blood will be secured. Apex falls down as well. Kimi got the man into his hand, and in the meantime, Radiant falls down there for the overextension. It is Haruka who gave out the rotation from the EXP to the mid and finds the kill. This is the thing, Thamuz with the speed cannot rotate out so fast, and this is not a expanding river.
This is a flying cloud, man. This is a flying cloud, so they need to be wary of the fact that rotation will be very fast while Kimi is getting his HP shred down really quickly. He needs to back off, but again, he's still holding on to the flicker, which is a good thing. He can really engage again for the next team fight. But I like the fact the side of Team NOC are finally giving some answer back, because that will be very important. But again, Kyle will be constantly the target this game by the side of Team IQS. You can already see they're trying to just stop the minions, freeze it up so you cannot get that farm early on. So this is a very good strategy by the side of Team IQS to stop that scaling for the Scary in the early game. And again, the next objective, the next neutral objective will be there. But Carry will be just picking up the... wait. Up top though, that charge connects.
Two people got into the hand, and it will be Kyle giving out the final launch. And there you go! My goodness, the execution with the Evil Queller. He finds his way, but now the him popping over there, and he will be getting cast with the flavor from out of HP. Beautifully escaped, and Sir Armon falls down with Kimmy into the hand. Another kill coming in right now. He might get falls down. No, he finds his way back there, but beautiful follow-up comes by Vaden. But the win, I mean, Jay with the sliver amount of HP, that dodge, that 2-1 combo, beautiful.
Too good, man. Like, he was stuck there for a few seconds, but then suddenly the RWM was spot on by Asuna to help him just, get out, because the slowdown really stops Rarmoon from pursuing him. And now, again, the turtle is here. Look at Anti already jumping onto his Haruka. Needs to back out because he does not have the artillery behind him. But now Anti wants to commit for that. It's Joe on HP. The Throne of the Ruins will be used, but the damage is already done. Who is going to secure the turtle? It's going to be Jay, hoping it up. But again, the members to the side of the team IQ is still alone. HP, they're still trying to fight it down, but Haruka, he gets chunked down, fallen in the hands of side of Team Asuna, from the side of Team IQS, but two of the members will get traded off, and now Kimmy all by himself, isolated, punished. The damage is coming through from this mage, the scorch, the burn is getting through the skin of the frontliners of Team NOC. And I think at this point they need to summit the mid lane. Vaden already has to back out. He's getting locked in, and a lot of damage getting dished out onto us in the Shroud Residue. Might be enough. Yes, it is. The Radium picks up the kill, while IQS will also pick up the mid tier 1, expanding the map more. Talk about one more tier 1, all of them falls. Now the map is much more less and much more blue for the side of Team IQS.
The little spell vamp who just gave out Faden's kill onto the hand of IQ Soul Radium onto the dragon. This is what I was talking about. You need to stop out those two backliners, and this time they do have a lot of picks who can actually grab onto the backline and can give out the disruption. This is the Apex with the Khalid and Radium with the Yuzong, and there you go. All those tier 1s has been successfully destroyed by the side of team. Okay.
Look at that.
So that is something going in there into the mid, but look at the damage, Kyle. Okay. I mean, this is the scaling that they need to hold out the game a little bit longer so that Kyle can manage to come back with his proper carry.
Indeed, man. He needs to get the item because he's just one item in and it's already dealing that much of damage. So the scaling is definitely going to be very crucial for the side of Team NOC. They need to hold on to their, the structures because they're giving it out quite freely, and because of that, they're losing the resources, they're losing the farm, already getting trailed behind by 5,000. So this is going to really hurt the side of Team NOC when it comes down to those 5v5 fights, even for those neutral objective. And as you can see, the side of Team IQS, they're not taking the third turtle. They're waiting for the Lord to be getting, for it to get actually spawned into a Lord. But again, Jeho is getting knocked up, as well as taunted, but able to get out. But the damage is still there from Haruka. Takes him down. The Throne of the Ruins will be enough for them to punish him down. But now Apex is getting locked on. He's getting circled around, but he should be okay. The Lord will just get transformed from the turtle. So now I think IQS might just pull the big gun because they know they have the lead. Yes, it got shut down. I mean, they got to shut down the NOC side, but it's still not enough for them to cover the goal, especially for Kyle. He needs to get some kills, gets to get some, I think at least 5 or 6 gold minion waves to get the gold cover for him to actually at least lock 2 more items. Then from then I think the game might just turn around, but the time limit for that would be around 13 to 14 minute mark. So that might be the time limit for the side of Team IQS to hold on to this game or to look for an end, because if they just prolong the game beyond that point, it's gonna be the side of NOC getting the advantage in the late game.
This is the game of the Tammuz, and now with that they're going for the Lord here. Haruka will be using the blood out here, but not go for the Throne of Ruin inside the Tower Lord. And it will be a free Lord for the side of IQ SATUL, but with this, by the way, on traffic, out of him popping over there, the follow coming in by the Radium with the Dragon. He dives in onto 3 members. Charge comes up by Jeho, and it will be Anti grabbing up a kill onto Haruka. Falls down there, Faden into the hand of Jeho. And not only that, the double being secured onto Kimmy. 3-man down with the Lord into the hand of IQ SATUL. They are back into the line. The Tears might gonna not sustain at this point in the mid side. It is Sarar Moon guarding out the tier 2, but do he gonna defend it out? I don't feel so. He went for the taunt there. Kyle will be going for the backline damage, but he's getting cornered as well. Now the only Cannon Mania standing there. Radiant goes in, but comes back with a dive.
You know, the thing is, the damage is still not enough from Kyle. He can give the shred, but it's very low at this point. He does not have the DHS, so the damage is not going to come through against the stanky members. They can soak a lot while also heal during the steam fight. As you can see again, the Lord is marching down. The holy defense is there. I think for NOC they should be able to defend. But again, what about the next wave, which are still marching down? The mid tier 2 will be falling very shortly. So now the inhibitors, the holy defense, the holy shield will get procced from all the waves. And the side of Team NOC, they're trying to stop that. But again, onto the mid lane, one more fight instigated. And Asuna will be falling inside the RWM, which is also used by Faden by stealing it away. But Jeho falls too. Now they're going in. Haruka wants to lock in, but the knockup from Radium will be enough to stop them on their tracks. The members are a bit low on HP, but still able to survive, still able to run away. But they still have to clear the side lanes. NOC, they cannot burst you further. They need to wait for a little bit while Team IQ SATUL can just take a little bit of breather. But hey Ash, the clock is ticking, and I think for this carry, it's a very good time to get the scaling. You can see already the 3rd item in the build path. It might be soon that this table will turn, man.
Yeah, building out the Trinity for himself, and now he might go for that proper engage. And you need to carry out the carry here, otherwise he will be the one giving out that blow onto you. And then is getting another fight. There is Evil Quiller coming in as well. Praises Wraith! A big slap onto the face of the rover from IQ Soul, and with the dive comes up as well. A shutdown happened with the Haruka on the Throne of Wraith. There is Haruka falling down in the hand of Jeho. They're getting chased down. Jeho falls down. RWM by Faden. 1v1 going in. Asuna finds the kill onto Faden there. And what a kill coming in. Double for Asuna. Jimmy falls down. It is the damage from the antis, Tammuz. And this is so good at this point. And look at this. Another fight coming in. Kyle versus Anti. Faden goes in. Asuna goes in. Killing spree for Asuna. Praises Wraith comes up. But this will be the last blow. The last dance for Sarar Moon. And it will be an official wipeout for the side of Team NOC with the Lord entering into the land of dawn for the 2nd time.
Bro, that's a Tammuz. What the heck, Ash? That's a Tammuz turning the game entirely around. He took down the entire lineup from Team NOC with Asuna, who was like low on HP as well. Like, this is not very good. But again, the skills are being used to stop Kimmy, but he'll be finding an escape. But IQ SATUL, what a turnaround. What a display of just 2 members. Oh man, this game is getting so interesting. It is getting like to the point, it's like a peak game. Both the teams can just turn the tables around, but still the Lord will be in the favor of Team IQ SATUL, and now they will be marching with it. NOC, they need to pull up another miraculous defense. They can lose out the inhibitors, which will be just, proving more troublesome for them, because you can see if IQ SATUL want, they can end the game if they get the proper shutdown, but Kyle does not have the flicker. Faden's flicker should be back up. So it's all about the timing. It's all about the timing. The itemization is getting sooner or closer there, but the timing, Ashir, of the skills will be very important. Let's see what it holds for us.
Anti the Giant leading the way for IQ SATUL with the top lane will be exposed, with the Nexus being open for the side of IQ SATUL for the 3rd time. Let's see if they can actually go for the base, or they gonna defend it out from the side of NOC. But into the inhibitor, into the mid side, we're gonna see a fight coming in there. RWM popped up, and this time from Asuna, but it will be Anti going in onto 3 members. He's getting stalled behind by the side of Team NOC, but there you go. Another wave's approaching onto the base, but it will be good from the side of NOC. They somehow managed to defend it out. The cloud will be used here. Okay, Sarar Moon just comes in.
He comes in, but still the waves are crashing down, right? I think NOC, they still need to clear it out while also focusing on keeping themselves safe. But one engage from Apex can really turn the table around, but the bot inhibitor will be falling, and now one cannon min is all that IQSD will have, but it should be cleared out. I think the game is not over yet, but more stack of minion. I think for IQSD, they just need to wait, man. They just need to wait for the skills to be running out. But again, you can see the Black Dragon being used up, but it's getting shunked down really low. Oh no, the stun connects, but this time anti-falls around Moon gets traded off for that. But again, you can see the side of Team NOC, they're trying to chase him down, but look at Faden. He's low on HP, gets the shun, get the stun, but the RWM from Asuna will be enough to get the shutdown, get the close for Faden to be just calming him down, but still, the match is not over. The game is not over, Ash. We are a long way from getting this game to a conclusive spot, but again, both the teams are still on it.
I mean, when the game is a little bit heavy for the side of IQA City, well, it is the mid lane GOAT who need to take out this game onto his shoulder, carrying this game for himself. The positioning, nobody can touch him, nobody can approach him at this moment. The way he's playing and the way he's securing those kills, the double, the killing spree, and now that unstoppable with the RWM popping over there. This is the playstyle. I mean, you do have a lot of members who can actually go for the backline disruption, but the way he is standing out there, he is dodging out your attacks, is kind of an amazing thing you're going to see in this game. But there you go. The third Lord is here for the Land of Dawn. And it is Team NOC who might going to contest it out as well. Saramun goes for the taunt. He went for that dance here. But there is the 4 members who are standing out. But it will get knocked off. Clever of Vanguard being used. Raising Test coming in as well for the defense. But the Faden with the popping. Oh my goodness, RWM popped up as well.
No, mid lane.
Not going to emerging, but this time from the side of the
Kyle is the target.
Kyle getting caught down there. But he will use the win of nature.
No.
Radium, who will be slaying out Kyle, and as well as Clever of HP. Jeho goes in, finds a kill onto Haruka. 2 members standing in, double onto Faden. And you're going to see that it will be Jeho charging inside the way. Sarar falls down before he can cast out the Priestess Wraith. He goes down there. Kimmy is the only member.
No.
Channeling their way into the base. And then there is the recall taunting. There is the show being going in the base because it is Sky Team NOC and clinch up onto a series of 2-1 in this BO3 series at round robin stage at Mythic Showdown. A dramatic comeback from the side of SATUL. 1-1 the score was. Team NOC was doing great, but then the macro being secured by Jeho just turned out the event with Tammuz being giving out the follow-up with Asuna carrying the game with his RWM. Beautiful.
This game, man, like the side of Team IQSD Duel, like they just pulled up a very brilliant display of how good their synergy is. I mean, if not the fumble, I mean, you see how much skills or how much utility they used just to take down Anti, but that RWM spot on, just looking, just sliver, one box, I think just one box it was like that slowed them down, brought enough time for, I think, Anti to go in with, not Anti, for Radium to go in with the Black Dragon. The Wind of Nature was used, the wall was there, but not enough for him to survive, man. Like,
I'll say one thing. It is that kill onto Apex, the flicker forced out by Kyle was not necessary, was not needed at that point. And that's the main reason he got cornered. He got behind, and Radium finds his way onto him. Even though he had that Wind of Nature, but you are against a dragon. You are against a beast. You cannot, Wind of Nature to him.
Short range versus the ultimate range. I would say the dragon can cover the map so quickly, right? And not only that, I think when he uses his Black Dragon form, the skill range, it also increases a lot exponentially, right? So the Shah residue would happen enough for, even after using the Wind of Nature, I think the Shah residue was there to actually, chunk away the HP. But this time, man, I think Asuna, both of them were like the star of the show for saving the game out there. But Asuna, like his positioning was elite in this game. There were people who can mark him down, but the timings and the way he uses RWM, is just very different, man. It's beautiful to watch, and I think the way he keeps himself safe is also a top tier level. Like I think for him and Avich, both of them with this Eve pick, they are just a different monster. It doesn't show, but they're a different monster, man.
You're not taking another name, a rising star, Senju.
Oh yeah, of course, man.
That guy also outplays so good with the Eve, but it's not the night for Senju. I mean, it is over for Senju's night. I mean, he managed to clinch out that 2-0 win against Yama Esports, but now it is the night for IQ's SATUL. It is the night for Asuna, who gave out that carry in this game so far. I mean, the way, as mentioned by my friend, mentioned a lot of times by me, the way he was channeling himself, positioning himself in each and every team fights, not getting down by any of the members of NOC was the main thing which just changed the whole scenario for IQ SATUL. There was a time we thought NOC might make their comeback because of Kyle's carry, but then it is Anti's Tamuz who just give out that gap onto the EXP, to give out that damage, give out that proper team fight participation. I told you, like Tamuz, with the Tamuz, he gonna give a lot of slowdown with those damage as well. This is the new era for the Tamuz players. 2 on the score is IQ SATUL, another win into their pocket. 3rd win straight into the round robin stage, and a hat-trick already been done by them. A little bit closer to the mark of playoffs, and the NOC, they need a calculator right now. Calculate out if they're going for the playoffs or not, because right now they're in a situation, they're in a verge of elimination from the playoffs. Yeah, of course, they will play the rest of the matches, but they need to pull out all those matches.
Can't qualify, man. The problem would be they can't qualify if not winning all the games. If not winning all the games, right?
Not even, I mean, if you're winning all the games, doesn't matter. You have to see what other teams are doing. Yeah, you have to rely on other teams right now. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
all and then you have to pray the god, you have to cross your finger, and we'll see like if other teams gonna make something here, like some win trade happen, some like proper thing happen there, then only Team NOC can come back. But IQ SATUL, this is the head-to-head I was talking about. Asuna with the Eve against Faden's Valentina.
Oh man, this was a lot to take in, right, for us. Like so many eventful things happening. 2 savages, 1 maniac in the same game, and then like there's this like amazing outplay by Anti as well as Asuna. Like, ooh man, this night could not have been much better. And like I was mentioning about Anti, and he's already there on the screen. Like, look at that, he's like 10. Like, he's a freaking monster, man. Like, he played like a monster on that hero today. Like, too good. Like, I think it has been very rarely that we have seen a Tamuz this good in a tournament, honestly speaking. And Jeho with the gold, the rich guy, the carry, of course, Asuna, Sandbag, Haruka really did a lot with those, Queen of the Throne of the Ruins, of course, but still not enough for his team to actually get past the RWM, the Black Dragon, as well as this, the monster that is right next to him, the Tamuz, right? So in a way, I think NOC, they were close, they were near, but not completely reaching the finish line. Before reaching the finish line, they were, let's just say their legs were cut off and they could not fly anymore, right? Even though it was a flying cloud map, they could not fly around enough to actually, see the victory for themselves.
And I mean, the clouds were getting obstructed by Anti's Tamuz, of course. I'm not sure the
and Radium's Black Dragon, man, there was obstacle in the air itself. So yeah,
I'm not sure who is the gold standard. The debate is still going on, but EXP standard don't go to this man Anti. I mean, that outplay from the verge of getting wiped out to getting chased by Anti's Tamuz. At the moment, he just turned out the devil in the purple buff section, if you remember. The killing spree from Asuna, and then Anti was solo handling Faden and chasing out their Haruka there. I mean, that was insane fun at that point, and it is IQ SATUL, of course, grabbing up the win.
Absolutely.
Good luck for the next.
GG, man. And again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we love the fact that you have made the milestone for tonight successful. The likes have been reached, so 3,000 dice will be at your service. So don't forget to join the Discord to know who are the winners, and also collect your dice by submitting your IDs. The Discord's link will be provided in the description below, in the comment section, not in the comment section, but in the lives as well by our moderators. So do ask for that. And if you cannot find it down, then just Google War Drum Games on your browser, on your search engine. You will find it out, of course. But again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and we will be back tomorrow with much more exciting games, because the round robin will just get much more exciting and much more thrill bound, as well as even more I would say unexpected, as well as unpredictable from here on, because a lot of teams, their points are still unsettled. We don't know who are going for this LAN event, which will happen on 17th, 18th and 19th of December at the Rukmani Nagar Gao Hall or Auditorium in Guwahati. So book your tickets now, because the tickets might just run out, because it's Christmas time. You can spend a good holiday with this LAN, and then right after that there's the Christmas, there's a New Year. A lot of concerts are happening as well, so you can just have fun in Northeast. Even if you're from any part of India, do make sure to join this and be part of this biggest festival of this year, that is Mythic Showdown Season 2 LAN event, because this is going to get much more grander, because teams like SC2L, RNTX are also part of it. So just expect bigger and bigger. And don't forget, War Drum Esports or War Drum Games are the one bringing you this action. So big shout out to them. And with this, we will be calling it a night. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of tonight. Good night. Take care and see you tomorrow, lovely audience.